Alright. Starting the stream. Oh, hang on. I forgot to... So much time and I'm still forgetting stuff. Alright. Greetings, ladies and lads. Welcome to day 5 and 6 of the Warhammer of Brink of Hearts girlfriend sponsored Advent Calendar. That's the word I'm looking for. Alright, yeah, of course, it's already the 8th of December. I did take the weekend off, but we, of course, do have a lot of work ahead of us, and that'll mean that we'll be streaming for a little bit longer than usual. Hopefully. I mean, you know, I hope I don't get too tired. Rice is already in the chat saying hello. Hi, man. Sorry about the delay. I just lost the track of time and had way too little stuff prepared for dinner and decided to have dinner right away with my girlfriend as to not have that drag out for too long, you know, stuff like that. Most likely you won't be here the whole stream. It's a bit late and I have had a long, exhausting, annoying day. No, 100% I get that. Again, I'm sorry for it even being so late. This really is an hour after, you know, my usual streaming slot. But, you know, hope these hiccups won't happen too often. Very annoying day, he's clarifying. Very annoying day. Dang. I'm hoping we can turn that around tonight. I mean, might have been a very annoying day, but, you know, it doesn't mean we can't finish strong. Hang on, why is he's not recognizing my camera? Let me do a little bit of magic. There we are. Alright. Anyway, how are you doing? I had quite the long day. I'm having, you know, I had quite the long day as well. Though by far probably not as annoying as yours seemed to be. Simply due to the fact that today I could just do all of my work from home. That's always a lot nicer. So, let me think. What are we gonna do today? I think we're going to paint 2 regular Marines from day 6 and 7 actually, not 5 and 6, because number 5 of the Advent Calendar was this Hellblaster, and I don't want to diversify the stream too much right away, because again, I don't know how long I'll be able to stream. My bottle of Zandidas Primer is also on its last legs, as you can see, simply due to me really getting the last bit out of it for these miniatures. Alright, we've got 2 regular Primaris Marines, one carrying an auto bolter, and the other a bolt rifle, I think it's called. So the sniper variant of the regular bolter. Vash is also here saying howdy. Hi, man. How are you doing? This might be a stream more suitable for your time zone because we'll be staying up a little bit later than usual. At least that's the goal. Okay. Where's my my grip? There it is. I actually have to have a look right away at how I started off with the other Marine previously, because I don't remember that anymore in detail. So let me just have a quick look. Rice asks, did you have any time to go through my stuffs? Apology if you did. There was a lot of material and the abandoned story was quite bad. No, unfortunately not. I didn't have that much time to go through your writing. I did see all, or at the very least most of your pictures that you sent via the Discord. Link in the community tab, by the way, for everybody watching the VOD. But no, unfortunately I did not have time to go properly through your writing. All good, lol? Yeah, but you know, still wanna say. So, when was that? That was stream number 2. What did we start off with this guy? That was the... still on the paint job. Did I dry brush? I dry brushed him. Wow, okay. Crazy stuff. And then I went over it with Ushepti Bone in some areas. Interesting, intriguing, okay. Let's do that then. Okay. I see that you guys are writing stuff. I'll just quickly set up and then go through the chat again. There we go, Shepty Bone. Vasha says, still gotta work though? I'll be then out. Yeah, of course. You know, I didn't think today would be that much different. I'm just saying that I'll at least be online a little bit longer. So you got a little bit more of a chance to catch me during the stream. Yes, everyone join the Discord. Do it, you casual viewers. Oh well, you know. It is very nice to now have the Discord actually, because I did wanna, you know, for ages now, I did kinda wanna post more about, you know, updates that, for example, I put out today with the stream being delayed and which matches I'm gonna cover and stuff like that. And I never really did that on YouTube, except for like an announcement that I felt would be either quite entertaining or important. And now I can do it a little bit more casual, keep you guys in the loop a little bit better, simply due to the fact that now these notifications won't annoy a more casual viewer, but, you know, is already targeting a slimmer, more elite part, let's call it, of the community. Not to start any sort of classicism, but, yeah, you know, I know from my own experience that sometimes these, like many community posts, like an increasing amount, can also be increasingly annoying. That's why I held off on that. But now I can torch you with all my raw thoughts on things and messages that I deem to be even of the slightest interest. Dry brushing, yummy, yeah? Alright. I do like to see, like, you know, time lapses of dry brushing or over brushing. I think that's always very satisfying. I'll also be jotting down the steps that I take to paint these guys to get to a more, you know, consistent result each time, because, you know, these by far won't be the last Celestial Spears that we're gonna paint. There we go. Oh shit, his arm flew off. Okay, I didn't glue that on properly. Huh. Shit. Might be a blessing in disguise, because now I can access the chest area a lot better. Oh well. If life takes away your arm, it's good that you're still aren't, you know? Good! Moving on to the second Marine, who hopefully has, a very bad grip himself. Gosh dang. Actually started SAS Rogue Hero Season 2 about 11 minutes in when the stream started. Oh really? Huh. Very understandable. It is, as you already pointed out, rather late for a stream. But it is, you know, I see it as yet another opportunity to also test out a different time slot and stuff like that. Technically speaking, one of the best time slots would be in terms of like audience viewership behavior, you know, stuff like that. The data that YouTube gives me. Technically speaking, I think the best slot would be like 16 o'clock, like starting around there. I don't know if that's such a good idea though. It doesn't really feel like it. And my own, you know, data from anecdotal data would suggest something different. That starting at like 3 o'clock in the morning yields the best results. But, you know, to each their own. The worst time to do a stream, though, I've really, like, I've been shocked at that, is streaming at around like in the morning and like early hours of the day. That's crazy. I had streams even like at later dates. So when we did have a decent sized following, I did have streams where over the course of 2.5 hours, not a single person chimed in. Like, not a single viewer. That was actually crazy. So yeah, I'll stay away from those hours, except when we do a stream that would go for so long that would be still streaming then. But I would never, again, start a stream like that. If it wasn't for a good reason. Brother, you're missing an arm? No, I haven't, Captain. It's right there. Great reference to a great, I think, Horus Heresy book, isn't it? Isn't that the same book where they also joke we float from a crag? Not quite sure though. Please someone get that reference? Yeah, no, I think I got that. I think I pinned to the tail right on the donkey with that one. To not toot my own horn too much. Alright, dry brushing stage completed. I think we can already move on with this guy. However, the other man needs some painted Ushepti bone as well. Let me just quickly clean up my brush before. Problem with streams is no matter what time frame you choose, someone somewhere will miss out due to the time zone. No, yeah, that's true. But you know, even but some time zones definitely are performing better than others, right? That one time where I streamed at 3 o'clock, having like hundreds of viewers come in. Not at the same time, but you know, over the course of the stream. And then the other stream again in the morning where not a single person showed up, so yeah. And then of course you have VODs, right? I personally enjoy watching VODs quite a lot from my favorite YouTubers, and I hope that there's a similar case with the VODs that I provide. No, yeah, it was a reference to the Crimson Fists. Oh, dang, okay. I missed that then. All the same, all like Games Workshop is once again stealing jokes from themselves. The Inquisitor says, I'm glad this isn't a recap of day 6 and 7. Oh shit, you're right, yeah. Dodged a bullet with that one, didn't I? Whew. Alright. The primate didn't even reach there. Wow. That's bad. I think I actually need some Xandri dust for the lower parts of his arm, for example. As you can see here. The problem was today it was rather dark already when I got to priming. And then it definitely also didn't help that my spray bottle ran out of paint as well. At around the same time. Batman's Kitchen immediately interjecting, shut up! 6-7 joke, boo this person. I hope you all are having a good day. Great switch up. Yeah, I'm having an alright day. I think I could have done better, but for me, of course, the day isn't over as well. And after this is done, I'll sit down to do some more work for the channel, so either editing or writing scripts, to then tomorrow be able to edit out some stuff. There are a lot of smaller shorts coming once again, especially featuring the stuff that we do during the Advent Calendar. And because I've been slacking so much in terms of releasing shorts, that I will also buy myself, with that amount of videos, 1 or 2 days off, where I don't have to stream. Because not that it's like I'm not getting burned out or anything, but I do need this time. Like sometimes it would be very beneficial for other projects. If I had time left over at the end of the day. But don't get me wrong, I do enjoy this quite a lot. And by the way, Fatman's Kitchen and all the other people very eagerly posting in the Discord. I'm, you know, this turns out to have been a better idea than I ever imagined. It was very cool seeing y'all's progress and y'all's projects as well. Yeah, and make me a mod so I can 6-7 this guy. No. But nice try. Wanna know something crazy? I do know what the 6-7 is the new funny number, you know? And I do know the reaction you should have when you hear it, right? The, like, doing this or something. But I don't know where that's from, and I don't know what it's about. It's actually crazy. For the first time ever, I've experienced some sort of generational divide where I don't know what the youngsters are talking about. Like, the 6-7 joke actually makes me realize how old I am. Huh. Well, how old I am becoming, rather. At the ripe age of 24. You know, the light is already getting dimmer. I 8-9 your ass. 6-7 is stupid and gives me irrational rage. Dang, really? Okay. Again, I have no idea where it's from or what it's referencing. So I'm a little bit more blissfully ignorant on that page. All right. I'm actually not sure how to proceed from there, but I've actually seen a great YouTuber make a video about this exact color scheme, if you believe it. I'm probably the oldest here. I've given up on trying to understand these children. Oh yeah, Vash? I think the oldest person, like, according to my metrics, there are some people on the channel who are 65 years plus. So are you are you in that range? So it was actually quite incredible to see this guy paint my color scheme. There we go. Hang on. There we go. This guy really knows what's up. It's crazy. Let's see how he's doing. Alright, doing the Oshepti Bone, just decided. Quite good. Camera quality is very bad. I don't know why that is. He definitely needs to look into that. It's kind of cringe. Wow, amazing shout out, Jan. Damn. Yeah, right. I'm always trying to look out for the little man, right? You know, these smaller streamers. You know, almost 4K subscribers. That's quite respectable, not gonna lie. But yeah, if you can spare a sub, go over and, you know, give him some support. Alright, can I stop all the yapping, dude? Nobody cares about your commentary, I wanna see your paint job. Alright, you did that, you didn't brighten up the armor so far. He's really... Oh, then he washed it. Alright, maybe that's an idea. Write that down. And then... he washed the entire thing. That's interesting. Okay. Alright, definitely keep that in mind. Definitely need to keep that in mind. Let's see if we can do something just as good as the guy over there did. I'm not quite there. I'm 41. Oh, dang. 41. Oh, that's still, you know, quite young. You're not even twice as old as me. That's still alright. There we go. Painting street. There we go. Good evening, says Panzer Kitsune. Good evening, my friend. I'm glad to have you here. Alright, what did the guy do again? Yeah, I think he took out some XV88, right? So hang on, where's my phone? I'm actually opening really quick my notes app just to write down quickly. So we start with Ushabti Bone Dry Brush, then Ushabti cover like layer regular to reinforce. Then we do XV88. XV88 layer. Then we do, I think, half-half, right? Or rather, a brighter orange. Orange layer. And then a wash with... Oh my god. What wash did we use? It looks to be like Agrax Earthshade. Agrax Earthshade. Alright. Sorry for the hold up. 6-7 has no meaning like 420 or 69. It says, I understand, a situational joke that people found funny until it became self-propelled. Okay. And that settles it then. It is just a meme, nothing more. I'm intrigued. What do you guys think? So, yeah, well, maybe this is too logical of an approach, right? But this Marine has his right leg, you know, to be orange, and the left leg and halter to be orange. I wonder if we should do it differently with this guy, basically mirror it, just on the account of him being a sniper, and the bone color to be a little bit better for camouflage. On the other hand, these Space Marines won't rely on camouflage anyway, so... Yeah, no, I'll keep it simple for now. No reason to overcomplicate things. XV88. Are you XV88? No, this guy. Well, Jan, in my opinion, my guy is the best. Oh yeah? I mean, your guy surely is like, he's definitely out of all the cleanest, so let's definitely get that right. Like, these guys look very rough compared to that guy. Vash, Rice also says to Vash, I'm 22 and already getting tired of this new generation. Already getting tired, huh? Well. Yeah. Kinda relatable. Don't know what else to say. Like, not to dwell on this topic too heavily, but damn, people don't know how to raise their kids these days. It's crazy. As somebody who also aspires to be, you know, who aspires to be in a teaching position, you know, like a teacher for art in regular school, and of course my girlfriend doing something very, very similar, already working with a lot of kids. It is crazy how, you know, how crazy these kids are. And how blatant the disrespect is. Not like to your average Joe Schmo either, but like the actual teachers and wardens, you know? There we go. My basilisks, each marine can color their main armor as they wish, within the given range of course. I don't know how your plan is. No, I'd like it to be more tactical and more like, okay, you know, they all follow a very similar dress code, basically. That being said, I wouldn't mind like some variation here and there. For example, the upper leg here would be fine if we color that orange. You know, just get some variation. Not too crazy, but still enough to be able to appreciate the individual model, right? These guys are not supposed to be Astra Militarum soldiers that all wear the same uniform. These guys are individual lords carrying weight with each step and every action they take. Of course, they're supposed to be more individual. They don't get called my lord for nothing. Tactical? I mean, yeah, sure. Congrats, you're now an old grumpy man. Oh yeah, really? Yeah, I think that Keep It Simple have some cohesion with the scheme, unless you want to have more chaotic luck. Nah, not really. I'm playing around with that idea for like maybe some, like a project, like a different project that I have in mind. But that's only like later down the line and only for like very special units. So maybe like some different BLADEGUARD veterans or something. A guy I know is a teacher. He tells stories of horrors. Kids in the 15-year-old range can't even understand basic reading sentences. No ability to break down and understand things. That's actually crazy, and that's actually true. And one of the things that I, as somebody who studied German and English literature for a time, like not literature, but like to teach also, what I think is crazy, that like nowadays there are quite some studies that showcase how kids nowadays don't have basic reading comprehensions and, for example, can't differentiate, like they can't acknowledge when a text that they're reading contradicts itself while they're reading it. So, you know, again, not to dwell on it for too long, but yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I see that too, it's quite dystopian, says Inquisitor. 17th Star Wars Outlaws analysis goes, bro. Yeah. Star Wars Outlaws, bro. Actually, also, like, on the gaming front, whatever happened to this great, amazing Star Wars MMO that we were promised, like with a proper cinematic trailer and everything, like Star Wars Eclipse? Who remembers Star Wars Eclipse from the same Game Award that also brought us the trailer for Space Marine 2? That game looked like, of course we didn't see a single drop of, like, crumb of gameplay, but the concept looked very solid. I was very intrigued in that. Very original. And instead of that, we get like Boba Fett, but even worse. With a boring story and even worse mechanics. But yeah, I'm talking as if I actually bought the game. No, but I did have a lot of fun watching other people play it. And trash talk it in the process, as it deserves to be trash talked. Here I don't only want to have the round. I don't want to have the individual plates to blend together in like the same color too much. I want some distinction going on so that you can still make out the silhouette of the individual armor parts. I've been wanting to play more Space Marine 2 lately, but unfortunately my brothers, like my actual brothers, are way too busy to hop on a game. You made like the 17th analysis by Mauler then? Oh yeah? Oh, 17 hours, sorry, 17th I read. Damn, trash talking reading comprehension and then making a mistake like that, bruh. But yeah, sure. Maybe. Maybe. There we go. 17 hours is quite long though. Wanna know something interesting? I recently got my YouTube recap, so not as a creator but as a consumer of YouTube. And I think the like in the chart of like games that I like to watch, like gameplay that I like to watch, of all things, Elder Scrolls Daggerfall was #1 on the list. Of like, YouTube basically said that was the game that you watched the most, like, that you showed the most interest in. And I was like so taken aback how the hell YouTube could get to a conclusion like that, until I remembered, yes, of course, I did watch a fair chunk of the who's he called again? Of the Josh Strive plays playthrough of that game. I think that's like a 78-hour VOD or something. Like, he said himself it was an incredible pain to upload that in one thing. And looking for, you know, some casual material to listen to while painting and doing work, that was a great choice. And yeah, I watched a decent chunk of that, so of course YouTube thinks that I like that goddamn game. Saw my YouTube recap too. I'm in the top 0.5% of Mandalore gaming viewers, holy shit. The main reason I got my Steam Deck and Emu Deck and play Donkey Kong Country 2? Oh. Wow. Really? That's the thing, I've never really heard of that game. I really didn't pay attention to like releases this year, except for like genres that I showed interest in. So, you know, hearing the nominees for Game of the Year, I was quite aghast to see that game there. But, you know, probably has its reasons to be there. Do I wanna... No. Anything else? No. Just the arm. I'll paint it right now, why not? Do we all know Seth is Mandalore's evil twin? The channel that I watched the most, by far, like, Ambiguous Amphibian is twice in the list. On the one hand are his, this is like regular gaming and commentary channel, like the regular Ambiguous Amphibian, and on place, like that's on place 3. And on place 4 is Ambiguous Amphibian VODs. So yeah, he takes 2 spots in line, again, also due to his calm yet engaging commentary and the great length of time that he has some videos be played. Also perfect for just like having something on the background and focus on while you do other stuff. However, number 1 is very unsurprisingly Asmongold. Watch the hell out of that guy. I'm on the 2%, so not as much of a super fan as Rice is. Oh, hey James, hey, hello! And also a comment from Twitch, advertising the best viewers, which can be found on my channel and my channel alone. And not some random outsourced bot farm somewhere else. Okay, I think that's quite good. Oh yes, I was top 0.7% of Seth viewers too. Dang. I think that's quite enough orange. Yeah, I don't want to go too heavy. There'll also be, like, we'll have some golden accents as well. So yeah, let's not get carried away here. Yes. Let's take the second guy. So the sniper, of course, lost his arm, but the auto-bolter man is doing something else. I made a link channel for all kinds of interesting links, videos, etc. Isn't that like the warp gate anyways, or is that just for me? Let's investigate. Links for Jan. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, sure, why not? As long as you guys don't think the amount of channels get overbearing, I'm happy for it to just continue like that. Alright. Okay, fine, I'll do a bit of painting, even though I'm very tired. Dang. some commitment. And like that, rise soldiers on. But don't take too long. The reason I can afford to stay up late tonight is because I don't have to get up as early tomorrow. Like, I have to get up as early tomorrow, 6 o'clock, but I, you know, don't have to be at university until 10, so, you know, I can take the morning easy tomorrow. I think I'll do him the same like this guy, almost. Do I want to do that? Not quite sure. Let's do this thing the same. I really like the look of that. And then I'll do this tacet. I plan on naming my Fellblade the Zerker Roach King. Oh, of course, yeah. Funny you mentioned him. Hell yeah. Just a great guy, you know? I don't watch him for, like, you know, it's just the right mix of, like, gaming and political content. Also very nice because he also shows, like, a lot of different sources and a lot of independent creators that I would have never watched without him, so yeah. But yeah, the amount of times that I watch him is insane. Hey yo brother, short 5-minute break from raid. Okay. Yen, you're getting the plastic Fellblade? What? Plastic Fellblade? I'm not buying it if that's what you're insinuating. Way too much. There's so many other projects that I need to get before I can, you know, justify buying myself another big miniature. Oh, bummer. Well. Was it a link that you posted somewhere, or how are you mentioning it right now? It seems to be a bit out of the blue for me right now. It's a big effing tank, that's what is there not worth it? I mean, fair, right? My painting setup is so jank, lol. Oh, I thought you mentioned that you said Fellblade. Yeah, I was talking about Panzer Kitsune's comment. But yeah, of course I can see the confusion. I do need to say your names out aloud more often. Ooh. I want his boot to be more orange. Like this guy. I think a unit of regular tactical marines is the perfect opportunity to get a bit more creative with the design. It's also something I thought about as I'm painting like this scheme that I've painted up, like I've sketched up so many years ago, is that you can tinker around as much as you want on paper. In the end, it is like very important that you get to painting rather quickly if you have the miniatures already. Simply due to the fact that, you know, of course you need to have a solid base to start from. But, you know, this marine, which I really like I really like this guy. I really like the look of him. He's literally what I hoped these miniatures would turn out to be. Looks way better than the sketch I did. Like the concept art that I did for these guys. So yeah, I can only emphasize that if you have a concept and you think, okay, the base is now there, but you're not quite sure, just go ahead and paint these miniatures. A, they will probably look a lot better in person than they do on the sketch. And B, you can, you know, the usual squad is like at least like, what, 5 miniatures big? So you'll have plenty of like options to customize and improve your scheme and the details with the leftover miniatures. And it will have like leave a lot better, like more concrete result as well. 10 out of 10. Am I bad? Oh man, no worries. Panzer Kitsune, to me, no new Warhammer is worth the money. Mind you, I work full-time minimum wage with 65% of my income going to rent. Dang! So I really can't afford much anyway. 65% is... yeah, that's tough, man. I heard, like, from a budgetary point of view, your rent shouldn't be more than, like, 30% of what you make. And even that is, like, quite high already. Though, you know, of course, in some areas that's just not feasible. 65% is rough. So rent covering also, like, your other bills, like utilities, right? So 65% is warm, right, as we say in Germany. The Warmmiete. I know the struggle. Sorry, gotta go back. Wanted to say hi though. Alright, no worries. Thank you for sticking around. It is rather late. We did start rather late today, so I don't fault anybody for turning the stream off quicker than usual. Okay, what do we have? Well, Yen, you have us too. I think also seeing how other people portray your idea can also give you an interesting perspective. That is of course true as well. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you already painted a very great version of this scheme for sure. That surely did help as well. But even then, you know, even though I'm very uniquely situated here, with, you know, having a community that actually insanely paints up concepts that I literally just sketched up. The result that you showed me was also just, quote-unquote, not to diminish your accomplishments, but it was, you know, just a photo. And even though that looked great, it is, again, a whole lot different when you have the miniature actually on your table. I don't know, I'm just surprised how satisfying it turned out to be after I mulled it over so many times. Or rather, for such a long time. Starting painting before the stream ended, lol? Oh yeah, really? So yesterday, you mean? Yeah. Yesterday, what was yesterday again? I know... yeah, right, we built these guys. And then I turned off the stream because I got too tired, I don't really remember. I did feel a lot, like, I did feel really sick though. I just need to do a little sculpting to make the wings fit, and the Vashtor proxy will be ready to paint. The Vashtor proxy? So is that the dreadnought that you posted in the Discord? But yeah, cool. Good luck with that. Like, it's very cool to see, to have like a community of so many different talents, you know? Some people are just posting very cleanly, like extremely clean paint jobs. Others are really good at painting masses of troops. Then we have you, who's just crazy with sculpting and scratch building and kit bashing. It's like, again, very intriguing to have such a diverse amount of you know, pictures and projects come in. It's very cool. Of course, we need to paint the hat as well. The helmet, not the hat. And then I think we need to mix up some XV88 and... what's that again? Troll Slayer Orange or something? Or Fire Slayer Orange? I'm not quite sure. But yeah. There we go. Need to paint these parts as well. Okay. And of course this part where the streak is going to be. His chest piece is a little bit different from the rest. So I fear I might have accidentally built the sergeant's torso with a different marine. But, you know, wouldn't be the end of the world. I think for my first Space Marine squad, that's still 100% acceptable. Okay. Yeah. After this, we'll need to mix up a different orange. Continuing once again with the sniper, who's completely dry already. Yes. Ooh. I shook the paint pot before closing it. That was risky. Holy shit. Games Workshop also sent around another mail saying that some more Warhammer news were about to come out. Very intriguing to say. And talking about news, the Game Awards will also be this week. Right, this week on a Thursday. Also, possibly announcing during the, ad break trailers, Total War Warhammer 40k. Very intrigued to see where that is going. And I think I might actually stream the awards with Heinrich. Not quite sure, because the award show is rather long. So I need to watch out for that. But if I was to stream that, I won't be doing it here on Brink of Art, but rather on our second gaming channel that we rarely do something with, called Trick Zipsane. Just doesn't feel quite right to post more like gaming related content here. Don't wanna quite do that. Even though it's 40k related, yeah. Don't wanna take anything away from the purely art related channel. And I also want to animate Heinrich to finally do something himself, like goddamn. He's got so many great ideas and doesn't act on them. Makes me mad, because we are alike in that struggle. In the struggle to actually do the things that we say we plan. Kindred spirits. This orange is quite nice, and maybe I'm overdoing it actually a little bit by painting it so, with the XV88, with the pure XV88 still showing. Not quite sure. But, we'll see. We'll see. Yup. Anything else? In terms of news? Not really. I've been really working on my diploma today. That took up most of my time. I'm also so glad to finally have the Discord live and the PO box. That being said, of course, the reason that the Discord is live now is I'd say 90% Inquisitors doing. So yeah, I think this is an appropriate time to once again, as JD Vance would put it, say thank you for your services. It's very highly appreciated to have somebody on the, in the moderation team who actually knows what they're doing. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay, first coat of orange, like a more proper orange, has been laid down. Now we take the second guy, the more, we have one guy for accuracy and surgical strikes, and then we have this guy who's going with the more spray and pray approach. Not as crazily as a Marine with a heavy bolter would, but definitely a lot more on the spammy side of things. At least that's how I use the weapon in the game. And I guess the game was quite effective at, you know, conveying imagery and functionality to the player, because in earlier times I probably would not have been able to tell apart different bolters by name, and now I actually can, so that's quite cool. Very happy with that. I mean, happy might be a stretch, but you know, I think it's just cool. The more I know about my favorite verse, the better. Batman's Kitchen says, one thing I want to do in a bit is attach 2 of the plague sensors from the Screaming Bell kit to a contemptor and have them be fire brazers or word bearers. I think I know what you're trying to do. I think I can actually picture it in my head. My question would just be if those would be a bit too big, because I do think I know which miniature you want to take them from. And I think they'd be a little bit big for infantry miniatures. Though the Screaming Bell, you know, was sized up for more, like for smaller infantry miniatures, against smaller infantry miniatures. I think it's a good idea. I think, yeah, that could actually lead somewhere. I was just about to say that in terms of kit bashing, I won't do too much this year. Especially not for Christmas, especially considering the, like, hugely customizable and, like, the huge amount of customization I did on last year's Christmas project. But then I remembered the eBay rescue miniature, the miniature makeover project that's sitting on my desk right now, so I guess that's not entirely true. There will be quite some kit bashing featured in that video. There we go. I wonder if I'm being too dark here. Really hard to tell. Should have probably jotted down the individual steps during the first painting phase. A little bit of wet and wet painting, no big deal. I really need new brushes. These things are seriously not in the great condition at the moment. Why must I be poor? Yeah. Do you have some core soap? Like some hand soap? Like these little bricks of hand soap? I've heard those can go a long way in revitalizing your brushes if you take some time to put into them. You know, this brush right here looked a lot like this brush, or even worse. And I managed to restore him to this condition with just a little bit of dish soap, actually. So yeah, maybe that's an idea. I hate stock miniatures, not sure why. Are they an insult to your creative, individualistic side? Because I can definitely understand that. I have a similar feeling, I guess, for stock paint jobs. That's why I like to paint miniatures a little bit different than usual, like often, not always. Sometimes the heavy metal team is actually cooking, but if I can think of something else, I'll paint that. Though I want to make sure I don't always go completely off topic and crazy. I always like to have a different reference at hand to still keep it, I guess you could say, lore accurate. So I'm not going as hard as you are in that regard. I don't know, I really haven't had much luck with cleaning and restoring brushes. Ah, I see. Yep. Yeah, some brushes are just beyond all repair, beyond all hope. That's true. There we go. Oop. Let's do this. Okay. Second coat of orange applied. Now it's almost time for the wash, I think. I think I also made a huge mistake. I wanted to wash both miniatures separately from another, so I could keep on painting and wouldn't have to wait. Oof. Good thing we have another Hellblast on the table and can just paint that guy. Alright. Anything else that I missed? I don't think so. No. Time for the wash then. No, actually not. Hang on. Time for other stuff. Yeah. Do we already apply the second coat? Oh wow, so many views. Okay, hello. Sorry. I've not been noticing how popular we are tonight. Fatman's Kitchen, have you seen my Basilisk? I absolutely cannot stick with stock models or paint jobs very well. That's true, the Basilisk are one of the most creative Space Marine chapters that I've seen in the wild, you know? I of course know that there are some expert crafters out there, some expert kit bashers. You're really going crazy with stuff. But yours is definitely a paint job that really strikes my interest of a person that I, you know, somewhat know, right? Alright, hang on, I need to mix up a bit of orange again. Simply because I forgot I had this arm laying around. One more thing is that, you know, we are already on the 8th of December, tomorrow is the 9th. And till the 20th I need to have the Industra, the Celestial Spear project ready. I completely forgot about that project for the most time. And now it's coming back to bite me, basically. Yeah, that's definitely not great. The big old community project, I do want to have that ready before Christmas, as like this year's Christmas video, to sign the year off with a bang. And then I need to take inventory, because last year I only released, I think 4 videos over the entire year. So yeah. Oh, Tayon, hey! Yo, can't stay long, but I thought it would be nice to hop in for a sec. Alright, you know, you're very much appreciated, for however short you might stay. Thank you very much for joining, all the way from Twitch. That reminds me, I did have a look into the next Warhammer Open, which is going to be hosted in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, I think even. Oh, might be wrong on that, but definitely in the Netherlands. And having the first Warhammer Open on European soil, I'm definitely toying around with the idea of going there. To experience the event and maybe meet some of you guys. That would be fun. I don't think it's like TwitchCon where I can open like up a booth or something. Probably wouldn't, but yeah. Oh, in Maastricht, alright. But I'm on a holiday then? Oh, that's too bad. The what? No, I'm so lost. The Warhammer Open. The big event where new reveals are being shown, where there's a big like competitive game of all different Warhammer gaming scenes, I remember the Las Vegas Open from, I think 2 years ago or something? Or was it this year that it was hosted in Las Vegas? I actually don't know. But it's a big Games Workshop sponsored event. And now for the first time ever, it's actually in Europe instead of the USA. So, very interesting for a guy like me who would have never flown out to, for example, Las Vegas to go to the Warhammer Open, but now in Maastricht that's a lot more manageable. Know the Celestial Spear thing? I know what an open day is. Ah, okay. What do you mean Celestial Spear? Hang on, what? The what now? What, did I say something confusing? Sometimes I ramble on for too long and then lose the plot line, I'm sorry. Alright. Brown for the leather. I've seen in that stream from this other YouTuber we watched, whoever that may be, he did show great promise though, that, you know, we should take care of some of the more broadly, or more larger details, more striking details like leather and undergarment before going to the wash, which is very understandable. However, I actually do want to stick to my plan from a few minutes ago, that I'll actually complete this guy, then wash him, and then do the same with the other guy to keep painting seamlessly. I may have misheard, but I think you said something about a Celestial Spear industrial complex? What? I for sure did not say that. Am I speaking jitterish like XQC now? I'm sorry about that. Probably need to pronounce my words more carefully. Need to be a lot more well spoken. If that's what you can hear out, if that's what you can make out. No, I did not say the Celestial Spear Industrial Complex. Confirmed I'm going schizophrenic? Nah, it's okay. What will be the color scheme for this Space Marine? Excellent question to you. It will be this. We painted this guy on the 2nd of December, when he came in the second door of my own personal advent calendar that my girlfriend made for me. And I don't know if you may recognize this painting scheme somewhat. He's from my own personal brand of Space Marines, referencing the 212th Clone Regiment from Star Wars. So the clone unit, the clone regiment that was commanded by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Commander Cody, of course. And yeah, he looks quite nice. Oh, nice, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, and today we are just painting a couple more. Yesterday we did only have time for a bit of building and no painting. So for today I was like, let's do 2 Marines instead of 1. We need to badly catch up with the December days anyway. So better get to it. There we are, okay. Painting the undercarapace grey. Always forget what that's called though. I am muted and something about a Celestial Industrial Complex. Yes, the Celestial Industrial Complex is the operation name for the branch of human administrative and logistical operations during a Celestial Spears mission, as they actually function a lot similar, a lot like the White Consuls, in that they usually are not being deployed in huge numbers, but rather take on individual or squad, focused roles on individual planets and battlegrounds, as to help organize and fortify the human defenders there, and only if the situation is a little bit more on the dire side of things, or if like the arch enemy is there, aka chaos, then and only then are they being deployed in like larger numbers. But the Celestial Spear Industrial hang on, what did you guys call it? The Celestial Military Complex is the designation for the way that they organize the resource gathering and refining of a planet under their wing. Wait, so you did say something about the Celestial Spears military complex earlier? No, as Inquisitor was now the second person to bring that up, I was like, okay, you know what? Why not just make something up right now? You misheard it the first time, and Inquisitor chimed in as I was explaining that I did not say Celestial Industrial Complex. But now I was just like, okay, you know what, I guess I gotta roll with that. And now all are confused. I'm an equal opportunity streamer. So we're talking logistics now. Oh yeah, I love logistics, man. Logistics is such a still so interesting to me. Even as like a 9th grader, I wanted to know the logistics behind the Hanse, the big trading conglomerate of the Middle Ages here in Northern Europe. I was like, how did they manage to do all that in the Middle Ages? God dang. To this day, haven't quite figured it out. I have to get back to studying. Have a great evening. All right, thank you very much. Best of luck with your studies. And probably the upcoming tests then. As the winter is approaching, as Christmas is approaching, I think I remember something about Christmas class tests. I will need it. All right. Have a nice night, everyone. All right. Okay. Hansa Kietzen is also leaving us. All right. Then good night, man. I'll see you maybe tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. See ya. See ya both. And Rice, yeah, I'm screwing a little bit. I mean, no, I would rather rephrase that as in, I took the opportunity to expand the lore of my own chapter. Alright, what does this guy need? Other than a wash now. I guess the golden ornaments. I guess those could be, yeah. I think it would be nice to paint those next. The Real Inquisitor says, modern Portland cement began with the English investors like Joseph Aspden in 1824, who baked clay and limestone to create a strong binder. It's only related to the ancient cement in its use. Oh, really? Inquisitor with a fun fact for us. I've got a fun fact for you as well. Talking about Middle Age logistics. As recently, let me take a. As recently, a big medieval tower collapsed in Rome, as some restoring work was going on. I felt quite reminded of the Notre Dame back in the day, where people also screwed up in restoring. Now we're talking about military logistics? Alright. I think the funniest revelation that I've ever had was when I figured out that military grade, so for example military grade gear, military grade steel, you know, stuff like that, is just a fancy, you know, descriptor for the best, like the most bang for the least buck. So, you know, the most cost-effective stuff. It doesn't mean like the best quality, it just means the best value for price. I think that's like one of the funniest revelations that I've ever had in terms of that. Okay, now I'm going to wash my brushes, then call it a night. Let's do this. Alright, okay, fair enough. Good night, Race. I mean, I know that you will come back to send me off properly, but yeah, it's time. That was the Torre dei Conti. One person died? Oh dang, I didn't know that. I only saw the video of the tower collapsing. Dang, shit. Bruh. I mean, I guess I could have figured that out on my own, but yeah. Put 2 and 2 together there. That sucks. I'll try one with dish soap and one with bar soap. Oh yeah. Definitely do that. Though it can be, you know, depending on the wear and tear that your brushes have had to endure, that it might take a while to restore them. I spent quite a bit of time to try and restore mine, which is why they even look as decent as they are right now. I find it funny that sometimes I think like, oh yeah, that is a nice tool, or a nice, you know, whatever hobby-related thing. And then I'm like, that's only a tool that professionals use. And then sometimes it dawns on me that as I'm now making proper content, you know, increasing my subscriber amount, increasing the amount of viewers I have, you know, I've done quite a bit of commissions already, that I've come to realize that maybe I am starting to be a professional, so maybe it is actually worth investing in gear like that. There we go. If you're wondering what gold I am using, I'm currently using, I don't even know, Army Painter's Auric Armor Gold. No, sorry, Hoplite Gold. Auric Armor is by Citadel. I can strongly recommend that gold. Great coverage, way better than Games Workshop's golden colors. Way better. Anywhere else where I need gold? No, just on the trims, right? Yeah. Just on the trims and the Aquila. Alright. As maybe some newer viewers of the stream might have noticed with their keen, sharp eyes, one of his arms is missing. And that's why we have to paint him separately. He fell off much like I did. He fell off, yeah? Nö, aber ich kann noch extra. Yeah, sure. Hang on. Okay. Oh shit, warte. Oh, sorry. Yeah, now it is. I wanted to make a joke at first, but then I for real turned by accident the wrong camera off. That's my fault indeed. Sorry. Alright, there I am. Anyway, I have to go offline for now. Have fun, everyone. Alright, Inquisitor's leaving as well. The old guard has to go to sleep. Because I personally messed up the streaming schedule for today. Streaming 2 hours later than usual. But who knows, maybe we'll have some new faces joining in. And having a blast at this late night stream. Hopefully. I do think I need to change something about the thumbnails for the Advent Calendar though. I think it can be rather hard to make out that this is supposed to be a Warhammer painting stream. Alright. Dude, 6+ years hobby experience and yet how the fuck do I wash a brush? Yeah, same. my painting class professor. Hang on, I'll turn the camera off once more. This time for real. Okay, you can. It's off. One of my... Oh, what? Okay. One of my painting class professors, or rather my only painting class professor, was appalled by the way me and my commilitones were treating our brushes. She was like, "Do you have so much money? Are you too rich? Are you not taking proper care of your brushes?" And no, quite the opposite. I literally, like half of the brushes in my arsenal I found in the dumpster of colleagues who apparently, evidently are too rich. But it's also mostly due to me not knowing how to properly wash a brush. And then she told us, and then I felt like, yeah, okay. I kinda do that anyway. With oil, I just don't wash my brush as much in between painting strokes as I do, for example, here with hobbying, where I clean the brush between pretty much every stroke. Okay. Gold ready, gray ready, brown ready. What else do we need? I think that's pretty much it. The helmet, of course, or rather the face in this case, is a little bit of a different animal. And the bolter can be painted separately as well. Should we... What color did we use for the belt buckle? I don't quite remember in the sketch. Details like these that often fall under the radar. No, that's the wrong concept art. That's also the wrong concept art. I have too many projects at once. That's that's propaganda. That's Star Wars propaganda. That's some more Warhammer, but for a different project. Yeah, there we go. It's orange. Okay. Oh, it's orange as well. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So this color scheme is what we're working with. And it is orange. Okay. So damn it, I gotta mix that up again. Or rather, I think I can leave that out for now. Like this time I think it's okay. I'm already getting lazy. I think I have to go pee in a second. Right. Some XV88. Like this secondary chest plate, let's call it his belly plate. Should have an orange streak going alongside it as well. As it's being, you know, half covered up by the torso plate, it's completely alright if the streaks are not aligned properly. It's actually, like, realistic this way. That's why I'm doing it. Because I care so much about realism. That's why I'm playing Warhammer. Should these vents down here be metal as well? These down here? Don't really think so. Oh, the back plate is also orange. Interesting. Can't see it here, so I'm not gonna bother. Oh, but I forgot the belt. Ooh. I'm getting sloppy. Probably due to the fact that I really need to go to the toilet in a second. Shit. Alright. I'll be away for like 5 minutes. Tops. Probably only like 2. I'll see you in a second. Alright, I'm back. After a quick round of tactical waste disposal and weight loss. And spontaneous weight loss, I'm back in the driving seat. Alright. Right, we needed to paint this belt. That was still missing. Right, okay. One thing I'm very interested to see is what exactly, like how my stats are going to be at the end of the year in terms of, you know, being a creator and if I actually did a good job this year uploading content. Because again, I know for, like, I was very shocked by seeing how little content I uploaded last year. Only like 4 videos, right? And back then I made a bet with Theinrich that I would upload at least 12 videos, and I'm pretty sure I said that I wouldn't include shorts into that. And yeah, pretty sure I did not manage to do that. But I wouldn't know how much it is right now from the top of my head. I just hope that the quality was alright though. My brushes just look worse. I was being careful too. I'm going to cry. Oh no. Shit. Ah, oh, dang, man. I set you on this path. My responsibility. I'm sorry to hear that. Damn it. Should we do, yeah. I mean, did you, try to, What I did at the end of my cleaning session was I moistened up my fingertips, you know? And then, basically trying to reenact this. You know, spun my brush in between them to, form the tip properly until all the bristles stayed in place like that. He says, no I didn't. I needed to wash them anyway, but it was just unsuccessful. Still. The thing that took the longest time for me during the washing procedure was literally just try to reforming the bristles, like remolding them to look proper again. So maybe it's just that, hopefully. Okay, this guy needs to dry for a second. I'm gonna take the auto bolter guy. And paint? What are we going to paint? I think the leather, right? Let's start with the leather, why not? I'm too curious. Ooh. Hello, hello, glad to see so many people here. I usually have all of my windows ordered in a way that I can't see how many people are watching at the same time. But I couldn't resist, I had to know. Right. It's space leather? Oh yeah, it's space leather. It's like the same thing with the bees, you know, that the Imperium of Man probably has to have at least one dedicated flower and honeybee planet to be able to manufacture all the wax needed for all the purity seals. And same probably has to be the case for the leather, an entire planet dedicated to cows and other animals, or whatever space equivalent, 40k equivalent there would be, to have so much quality leather on hand. Anyway, I'm calling it a night, Jan, so I'm going to hop off now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope the rest of the stream goes well, guys. The stream helped my mood as always. Alright, I'm very glad to hear that, Rice. Have a nice evening. Get a well-deserved rest after such a bad day that you seem to have had. And yeah, Good luck with tomorrow. May tomorrow be a fresh start for a better day. Have a good night, man. And Vash says laters. Oh, okay, laters referring to wash or to rice. Yes. But yeah. One explanation for all of the leather, you know, logistically could also be that it is some sort of synthetic leather. Would be surprised to hear that actually. Simply because, you know, the real deal. We don't only have the real deal for like aesthetics, but also because real leather is, you know, hardy, nice to use, resistant to water, and all of that good stuff. Very durable, you know, very moldable. So I don't think, you know, synthetic leather in nowadays, in real life, is not all of these things. Definitely not in terms of quality and longevity. So I think at least the Space Marines have to have proper leather pouches. But yeah. I don't know where I would even read up on that. So many candles in the Imperium. So many candles in the Imperium as well. Oh hell yeah, synthetic space wax? You're completely right. I completely forgot about the candles. Of course. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, there definitely has to be at least, like, there definitely has to be more than one planet dedicated to wax producing. Synthetic space wax could also be, of course, an idea, as you said. Though I doubt that for a similar reason that I doubt the synthetic leather. Simply because the candles and the purity seal have a high ritualistic value to these people. So I think it might even be seen as like maybe even heretical to use substandard products, right? But anyways, there are sometimes, you know, in these videos on YouTube of people questioning like experts in Warhammer lore, authors of the Black Library, you know, people who've been there from day one, basically. And they always ask stuff like, will the Emperor ever return? Or, I don't know, what really happened here and there, you know? Mostly only getting a vague answer. I think questions like, where's the Imperium getting all their leather and wax from, are a lot more fun to ask these people, and, you know, have a way better chance of getting a more concrete answer than, will the Emperor ever return, right? Didn't Warhammer 40k also have like their own end times scenario as well? I don't remember, like, I don't know anything about it. It's even foggier for me than the fantasy end times. And I do know at least a bit about the fantasy end times. But I have heard that there is some sort of, you know, now retconned, but back then Games Workshop approved end time scenario for Warhammer 40k. And of course then, you know, Games Workshop retconned that. However, I did also hear from Theinrich that slowly but surely a lot of the criteria or a lot of the circumstances of the original end times for 40k are being met again by the contemporary flow of plot for 40k. So maybe we will get an end times scenario or end times-ish scenario for Warhammer as well. Probably not, but it is fun to think about. With everything in Warhammer constantly being on the verge of destruction, you know, very doom and gloom, and it by far is more doom than gloom, at least on the broader spectrum. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. I did see some, like, 2 cool concepts today as well, though. One concept being that of the Chaos Gods realizing a vast intellect approaching and encroaching onto them in the warp, and that entity being the Tyranid hive mind, the Tyranid hive mind intelligence, and, you know, the shadow in the warp effect actually slowly but surely choking off the powers of the dark gods. I really liked that. That sounded epic. And the other one was a lot more simple, a lot more, let's say, reasonable. That of a Chaos Marine coming to the realization that, you know, basically encountering a saint of the Imperium and seeing his original father and progenitor, aka the Emperor, in a blinding light, and a voice calling out to him, saying him, "Come back to me, my son, I forgive you." You know, something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing here. I really like both scenarios. I think the Chaos Marine one hit a little bit closer to home. And, you know, that was really cool. And with the Chaos Marine one, there also was like a comment that I really liked. And it was put in quotations, so so I don't know if the person is actually citing a phrase from a Warhammer book there. But the comment basically said, "Forgive me and forget me," you know? So a very, you know, defeated Marine, something a really defeated Marine would probably say as an answer to the Emperor, saying like, "Please forgive me, Father, I regret what I've done, more or less," you know, between the lines, but also coming to terms that he just can't go back, and is choosing either exile or, you know, the ultimate solution. The ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate penance. But yeah, I really like that. I thought that those were both very striking images, especially for the 40k verse. Though, you know, the Tyranid hive mind actually choking off the gods in their own realm just by its presence was really cool. And I think Chaos would also have like the best chances of holding back, if not defeating, the Tyranids. Because at the end of the day, the Tyranids do need biomass to you know, thrive and grow. And survive even. And, you know, Chaos Demons don't leave any of that behind. They just return back to the warp. And then come back to fight another day. That being said, now that I'm thinking about it, the shadow in the warp also prevents them entirely from deploying demons to the battlefield. So I don't know. Maybe the Tyranids really just win by their pure existence. Damn. So it's back to being all bleak again. Shit. Of course we can't forget to shade the arm. I think I'll grab onto here. Just painting the lower arm and the elbow. It's a lot more important than the pauldron. At least for the time being. You know, with a part as small as this, I have no qualms about shading it in 2 different stages. It doesn't affect the flow of the painting of today at all. Am I using more wash than last time? Maybe I am. Not quite sure. But yeah, as this guy dries, we of course seamlessly are able to continue on with our second Space Marine. We already painted the leather, and now we can move on to the dark gray of some of his other details. Last but not least, of course, his under carapace. Alrighty. Dang. Whew. There we go. Yes, a dark gray. Where is it? Ah, ashen gray. There we go. Okay. Anything else interesting? I did want to play some Space Marine 2 today again. Did a bit solo. Play maybe a mission or two. Probably just a mission because they are very long. At least in my opinion. And yeah, it had to update. Couldn't do it. Then I was like, alright, I'm gonna play some Mount and Blade. You know, completely different direction, but you know, was just in the mood for it as well. Had to update as well. Then I was like, alright, I'm gonna just do the next best thing and jump onto Helldivers maybe. Nope, another update. So I just hung around sketching my, I want to say thumbnail, but no, book cover, as I was assigned to do by my professor, who expects the result by tomorrow. Really not sure if I will have everything ready and to his satisfaction. I guess we just have to wait and see for tomorrow. I think it is rather alright, especially with all the background work that I put into it, designing the characters and everything. I think some people, of course, painted a thumbnail to an existing book, I think, so a different one. There are loads of books that have very unimaginative and stale book covers, in my opinion. Not to mention one of my own favorite book series, The Elves, by Bernhard Hannon, which really is just a sword stuck in the ground and then make it 4 different colors. You know, 1 different color for each book, and boom, you're done. So, yeah. But so some people probably redesigned existing covers, which I'm very intrigued to see. Though for me, of course, I want to do a book cover, at least a version of a book cover for my own diploma, as it is coming up. The story is progressing. I really need to pick up the pace. I'm already like halfway through writing the story. So hopefully if I can keep this up, everything like the first draft will be ready by January. The diploma is in September, so that would put me right on the money. But of course the main task of an art and illustration diploma is the illustrative work and the painting work that I do. Which I really need to get the writing out of the way first for. Simply so I can paint the scenes from the book that I'm writing. And of course get a lot more training in, because I don't think I'm ready. Shit, I'm so... Ugh. But yeah. Enough about my diploma. We're painting Warhammer, goddammit! It's actually funny, like, how many Marines that... I think on the picture, the difference between a Primaris Marine and a, you know, Firstborn Marine is so insanely striking that it is almost comical to put those two next to one another. But I think in person, these Marines are very, like, the size difference also seems insane. But having them here just like on the table as regular miniatures, especially like in their broad stance that they have, the size difference is a lot more manageable. I think they're very much fine. As somebody who picked up a Primaris only army, I'm very happy actually with the Primaris redesign. I know that a lot of people are not happy at all, especially the veteran players and lore enthusiasts, and some more people recently pointed out very cynically, and I think they're also right on the money with that, is that Games Workshop, in an attempt to solidify their IP, created the Primaris Marines to be able to copyright them, because they can't copyright the word Space Marine, but they can copyright the word Primaris Marine. So yeah, that was definitely a very interesting and I think correct take. Though all of that being said, all the criticism, you know, having heard all the criticism, I really like the Primaris Marines. Especially as a miniature. I think design-wise, of course, the OG Warhammer style, the very over-the-top, like insanely huge shoulders and bulky armor, so the design of, I think, like 3rd edition, especially from an art perspective, that was peak Warhammer Marine design, at least in my book. But of course, this is a lot more sleek and approachable, especially for a new audience. Very, very nice, very imposing. I like it. Vash says, do you get into the lore of custom chapters and such, or do you just prefer the existing ones? I like custom chapters as much as I like existing ones. I think I'm a little bit more vague on the front of homebrew chapters. Sorry, Rice. But the basilisks do sound very interesting. Simply because it's not canon and I like finding out, you know, there's so much to read up on Warhammer lore that I like to start with the canon stuff. But that being said, I do really like reading the lore of, like, for example, you know, more specialized chapters like, you know, the Caradons or the Minotaurs, the Soul Drinkers. I think the Soul Drinkers were the first chapter of more specialized, more niche Marines that I read their entire lore up on. That was very cool. That definitely, you know, it was definitely a very enjoyable experience, and that's why I like the more smaller niche custom chapters. But again, on the homebrew lore front, I'm a bit torn. I like to know more chapters than just the big 8, but I usually only take interest in canon lore. But yeah. That being said, I do have an entire section of the Discord channel dedicated to lore of personal characters and chapters. If any of you wants to share a project or a short story they've been working on, and I will have a look at that sometime later down the track. I think that's cool as well. I mean, here I am literally painting my own homebrew chapter, so, you know. Fatman's Kitchen says, if Primaris had their vehicles crossed backwards compatible, as well as using a more defined set of prefab formats, I would like it more. That's a good point. When they first came out, I really liked the anti-grav tanks that they had, that they started off with. I think it also made sense for the Imperium to finally start using more sophisticated weaponry and vehicles, you know. For example, like the Hellblaster units I really like. In terms of like new weaponry, you know, a plasma-only unit. I really like that. The aggressors, you know, stuff like that. I think it's cool. I think it makes sense, you know? But in terms of the vehicles, as time has went on, I have come to kind of mourn the fact that their newer vehicles are so sleek. They're still bricks, but they're more refined bricks, if that makes sense, compared to a Land Raider or a Rhino or a Vindicator, for example. So yeah, I'm not all too sure on what I think about their tanks. I don't really like them as much anymore. I think it makes sense lore-wise, But I do agree with you that they don't really fit in from an aesthetic point of view. They don't really hit the right kind of note that I would like to see there. Yeah, and of course the fact that they are not backwards compatible is also kinda bad. It makes sense, you know, that you couldn't fit as many primaries in a Rhino as you could in an Impulsor. But the fact that can they even board them at all in the game? I'm not even sure. But yeah, that's kinda sad. I don't like that. I would hate for my Vindicator to be phased out. And I would like to see more, you know, more Space Marine vehicles stay on track, you know? To say it with a little bit of a cheeky wordplay. Okay, as the other guy is still not quite done drying, I think it's time to get out the good old lead belcher and paint the exhausts of his power pack vent. Yeah. One thing that's also been kinda bugging me is the size of their shoulder pads and pauldrons. I really liked, like, again, at first I loved the Primaris aesthetic, that it is more, you know, proportional to a regular human. You know, of course, everything oversized and still rather bulky, but of course a lot more manageable. You could build this realistically for a normal person, right? Though, especially in the art that they've been releasing, in the cover art and in the codex art and stuff like that, the pauldrons seem to shrink ever so slightly with each year that passes. And I think that's not really the right way to go. Space Marine pauldrons are supposed to be very over the top, oversized, you know. Everybody needs to know that these guys have the single most fragile shoulders in all of the universe. So they need massive pauldrons to protect them. And yeah, I think there's something going on. Maybe not intentionally, but oh, there's this style of... It's sneaking into their art style, and I don't like that. Keep the pauldrons big, keep them oversized. There's this... yeah. Even on the miniatures you can kind of see it. I think it looks better on the miniatures than on the art. Than in the art. But that's just my opinion. Just my theory. A 40k theory. Okay. There we go. I did actually made time today to watch the latest episode of Space King. Very delighted to see that one. I wasn't as big of a fan as the other ones. I don't know. For several reasons, it really felt a little bit more like a, you know, fitting to the season, but still a Christmas special. So it felt a little bit more like a filler episode than a proper episode. You know, furthering the plot. But it was quite nice, and I like that they're starting to sell proper, you know, merch figurines of the Space King Marines. The Space Defenders, for example, and then, of course, they know their audience, so they brought out a fully painted one as a Space Defender, and an unpainted one that you can paint however you like. Which, you know, again, they know their audience. Though, I had a look at their merch store, and I was like, oh, maybe I can support them after all. And then I found out that a Space King Marine, a Space Defender unpainted, is 45 bucks. 45 buckaroos for a single miniature with, you know, not the greatest, dare I say, sculpt fidelity. So yeah, tough luck. I think I'd rather buy from a third party or ask my friend JD if he could 3D print one of mine if I really wanted to paint one. 45 bucks for a single miniature is too much. I know it's properly licensed and I kinda do want to support them, so my opinion might change on that. But my initial response was too expensive. I see that Vash typed enjoyable enough though? Yeah, definitely. It was enjoyable, it was fun to watch, and yeah, you know, the plot twist in the end, them destroying all the misfits, you know, was kinda funny. Not kinda, but you know, exactly the humor that Space King portrays. Yeah. But again, it's still, you know, felt too much like a season-appropriate Christmas special. Which for a series that only comes out every couple of months, I wasn't too thrilled about when I realized where the plot was going. I don't know. All that to say, I can't wait for the next episode, holy shit. Okay, just for a test drive, right? With the other Marine, I left these parts painted, you know, in beige. How about we paint them silver instead, though? Would that make it look cooler? Would that make it look better? I have a feeling it could. Oh, by the way, if you guys watched that episode of Space King, did you feel like the ad was like dubbed over or something? I don't know, I watched it and the lines didn't seem to quite line up with the words that were spoken there. Not like 100%. I don't know, it felt kind of weird. Maybe it was just an audio mixing issue more than a like dubbing issue. But it felt a little bit uncanny. Maybe that was just me though. Of course their ads are really great as always as well. With Santa Claus coming down and saying, "Have you been a good boy? Have you been saying lots of slurs?" Yes, I did. Good. Yep. A testament to how good it was that they didn't take the Netflix deal. Because they probably would not have allowed for an ad like that. Huh. Okay, is this guy finally done? I think so. Yeah, for the most part. Okay. So it's time to wash this man. This Marine right here. There we go. Okay. I'm toying with the idea of maybe painting like a couple of Space Marines like the crew in Space King. But like, of course, with proper Primaris Marines instead of Space Defenders. Instead of the Space King Marines. I think that could be fun. Though I'm in no rush because of all the projects that are coming, that's not one that is like, wow, that's so great. Definitely need to get that out. No. The next project will still be the Industria, the Celestial Spear Rescue Conversion Miniature Makeover, which will release on the 20th of December if I can get it done till then. But I'll really try. Oops, oops, oops. I definitely should not have gone there with my brush. Fuck, that was a bad idea. Holy shit, the silver wasn't dry. No! In times like these, you have to lick the brush. Can I get it all off there? Maybe. I think the damage done is not too bad. Of course, I scraped off some silver on the exhaust vents here, on the secondary exhaust vents. Dang it. Shouldn't have done that. Alright, I think I need to wait a second before washing the power pack. Well, let's get the rest done. I know Games Workshop is fuming behind the scenes that a series like Space King exists. And I do feel like they would set their lawyers, like their hounds, onto them as quickly as they could. But I guess the series is distinctly enough, like, to warrant its own existence, far from infringing on Games Workshop's IP. Because there are definitely distinctive features to the series. Not only by name, but also by story. You know, the Emperor is lost, our Emperor sits on the Golden Throne. Their warriors are able to be reborn. The Space Marines just die, for the most part. Stuff like that, of course. Not to speak to the very ambiguous broader lore of... I did it again. To the broader lore of Space King. Like, where is there a human empire? Where are they getting their funding from? What kind of organization are we dealing with here? What the hell is going on? You know, boring stuff like that. Can't wait for it to be more expanded upon. And of course, very well designed. I saw a concept designer for the series sketch up the, talk us through the way he designed the abominable intelligence for Space King. Very intriguing, with series like those, I oftentimes forget that they have to actually do like proper design stages for that, and even in-depth design, like the same amount that you would have to do for a very high fidelity, game, for example, or a series or something. When I think of character design, I think of like Overwatch characters. I forget that even the more, quote-unquote simpler designs do warrant a proper concept artist and character designer to go at it. Nobody's back, saying, hey, I could come back. Stream still going on sometime? Yeah, sure. We'll be streaming possibly till like 11 at least. I did run out of steam a little bit on the way here, but could recover. So it looks quite good. Did I use straight up pellet white flash? I don't think so. Probably used a mixture of pellet white flash and oosh empty bone. Can't imagine it any other way. Yeah, that has to be the case. Okay. How did you manage to come back? Don't you have to go to sleep or something? I think I washed these two too heavily. Not quite sure, but this doesn't seem quite right. Maybe I need to ease in. Yeah, I probably need to ease in more softly. More Ushep the Bone in the mix. Oh, and I need to restart the music. We are already done through our second line of 1 hour playlist. Holy shit. But yeah, nobody, now that you're here, have you been watching? Have you watched the latest Space King episode? Merry Kingmas. Oops. The machine spirit couldn't handle the jolly Kingmas spirit. And there we go. Guess that's more like it? I'm not quite sure. This doesn't seem right. Because if this is really how we did it last time, then I could have skipped the entire second layer of... Oh, no, actually no, right? Ah. I think that, I mean... not quite sure what I'm doing here, not gonna lie. Maybe I need to head back and watch that other guy. See how he did it, especially if I don't do it on camera. What? Sorry, that wasn't supposed to happen. I mean, it definitely is still the cream, you know, eggshell off-white that we've been looking for with the last paint job as well, but it doesn't really look the same. Guess I'll just trust in the process with this one, and before we go to the other guy, once that he's dry, I'll have another look at this other nameless washed up YouTuber that did this stream 6 days ago. For everybody who's new here and might not know what I'm talking about a VOD that I created myself 6 days ago. I'm not going around bad-mouthing random Warhammer painting YouTubers. Oh, I have the habit of walking off stream, off camera today. Tomorrow we'll also have a little bit more jolly Christmas music. That's why the stream got delayed for like a further couple of minutes, because I tried to look for nice Christmas music. Couldn't find a fitting playlist though, unfortunately. Like nothing that I was happy with. That all will change tomorrow. Because I need to level up my game here. There we go. Okay, nice and clean, nice and clean. Though a very stark contrast to the other part. I think I might have washed this marine too heavily. Yeah. Might have overdone it. Probably the same with the other guy. Dang it. Well, guess I need to get myself some more marines then now. The advent calendar is still going strong, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so I think one more marine will probably await us as the calendar progresses. Very intrigued to see what my girlfriend has cooked up for me. Not that she's the only one cooking up stuff. I've been also very proficient on the Christmas grill. And on the literal grill as well. I made steak, salad and mashed potatoes for dinner tonight. A dish that I prepared very sloppily. When I say steak, I mean like soy steaks, because she's vegan. And I love her and I like to accommodate her. And her dad has like some great like steaks that he prepares for us. Put in the freezer. There we go. I think one more interesting thing with the Warhammer lore, but at the same time a thing that makes me a little bit cynical, are like every time like some major changes and major events are teased. I know it is possible, you know, Psychic Awakening with the destruction of Biel-Tan and the rebirth of Reboot Gilliman in our lifetime, you know, real life lifetime, shows that Games Workshop sometimes actually does take a major step forward in progressing the lore. But now I think they've got their nose set on too much profit that they would do something like that again. Maybe, that's a little bit cynical on my part. But what I want to reference here specifically is Call's plan of reaching a planet that seems to be locked in some sort of gravitational time warp shenanigans. So a planet, I think it's orbiting like a black hole or something, or a supermassive star. So as we've seen in Interstellar, the time is distorted on that planet and the humans there are still to be believed in the golden age of technology, and he wants to go there and retrieve lost knowledge, maybe even a functional STC or something. At least lost tech for the betterment of the state of the Imperium as it is right now. I think that is a crazy plan. I think it could actually work. And it would also make sense in terms of the lore of 40k again, and the way that physics and time is established there. Though, you know, I gotta be real, I have this opinion mostly due to the way that Lewitton explained it to me, via his warp time and, you know, call videos. That being said again, the thing that makes me cynical is like, so many of these major events are being teased and hinted at, same as like, oh, there's going to be a resolution at Octarius soon, or, you know, I don't know, what's another one? Of course, the call thing, and then we have, the Emperor stirs, there's a new warp entity, approaching, coalescing, maybe it is the Emperor, who knows? You know, stuff like that. And it feels like, okay, they're doing this, of course, to, you know, catch the interest and progress the lore. But how far are they going to go through with stuff like that, you know? Is Call really going to that planet, or are the authors of Games Workshop just going to forget that tidbit and move right on to the next? Or, you know, how credible is the coalescence of the Emperor? And stuff like that, you know? So I don't know how much interest I should realistically show in these kinds of lore development. Or if I should really just wait for the resolution, more or less, to be right at the doorstep before I say, alright, now I believe it. Nobody says, I just find the current lore samey. Maybe it's just me though. The Terminus Decree was a real bummer though, real low blow. Yes, definitely. It feels not as major of a change, but definitely in a similar ballpark as like the Femme Toadies, like the female Custodes. I guess my personal headcanon is that it is just Xian trickery going on. That he took the true Terminus Decree and switched it out for this meme trolling. Or like some sort of misunderstanding. But it is weird. It is definitely weird, yeah. And again, that's something as well, you know? If every event on the horizon is the next major event that it's going to decide the fate of the broader Imperium as we know it, you know? Then I think it's a bit much. I can explain away and suspend my disbelief for like the weaponry of 40k, for example. So many people are saying, oh, you know, I recently read a comment about a guy going, every time I hear something about 40k, people are prefacing it with, it is the most effective at, and then, you know, whatever job it's supposed to do, right? Kaladus assassins are the most effective assassins. Eversor assassins are the most effective at erasing crowds. The Psy Titan is the most effective Titan, you know, stuff like that. But again, I think that really falls in the ballpark of if everything is overpowered, none is. And the lore, at least in the narrative, in the novel narrative, does strike an okay balance between all of those things. Though, yeah, if every major event, if every upcoming event is like a major one that will decide the history and the future of the Imperium and the whole galaxy, then really none of it is. Another great example is like Morai Hag and the Swords of Cain, you know, to revive the Eldari god Inyat, to be the salvation of the Eldar race. Like, what's that about? Okay, I know you've already got some swords, I know that, I've read the books. So how's that developing? Is there going to be development? Or is that going to be a thing that's going to stay stagnant for the next 20 years or something? You know, how much development can we actually expect from Games Workshop there? I don't know, I'm a little bit cynical on that one. That's probably another reason why I went to my own homebrew chapter. Writers just can't / don't write regular events anymore. Cool stories that just are fun to read. It's like you said, every event in is the next galaxy-changing event. Yeah, it is just too much. Like, dang, what happened to just a regular, like maybe 3-part, like trilogy of a random crusade or a random conquering of a planet or something like that, a big siege or something. That is very important to that specific sector or that specific planet, but won't have as big of an impact for like the entire galaxy. Not every goddamn character you write has to be a major player in 40k. Like, I liked Minkalesk. I like the way that she pulled through the ranks. But god dang, isn't she like a Castellan now? She started as a White Shield. You know, of course there are still a decent amount of characters that are just, you know, for one story and then are being killed off 40k style. I guess I can't be too harsh on that. But damn it, man. Holy shit. Like, the amount of characters that survive the Dawn of Fire series only to be teased at, like, Disney style, like, ooh, he will return, you know? God damn it. Just, you can also write encounters where all parties die. It's 40k. It's okay. Not every guy needs to be super important and marketable to forever, you know, in perpetuity. It's okay. Same thing as with, like, Titus, you know? Ooh, people really seem to know to like Titus. Let's just kill off Acheran off screen, make him captain of the second company, as well as master of the watch, as well as warden of Ultramar, to set him up as like a really big player of the next game, you know? Like, shit, bro. Okay. It's getting a bit much, Games Workshop, don't you think? The voice cracks are intentional, by the way, just to emphasize my disbelief. I like to take the Bad Up War as an example. That is a great war covered in several books. It's an exciting event, but it's not galaxy-threatening changing. Yeah, right, I love the Bad Up War. By the way, can you, like, if you can you point me like in the direction of which books I can read to find more about that, because I can't seem to find the right chronology of books to read for that series of events. Would be very thankful, maybe in the like Discord somewhere in the links channel. Imperial Armor 9 and 10. Oh, it is Imperial Armor only? So no novelization? Ah, okay. So that's what I feared. Okay. Nah, if it's just Imperial Armor, then my interest has ebbed away. Dude, I can lend you my books if you want. Nah, you don't have to do that. Thank you. But yeah, you don't have to do that. I can get them on my own time. Especially because I have such a hard time finding time to read. You know? I've been on the first wall book of the Siege of Terra series for like months now. And the only reason for that is that I can't seem to find time to read it. Yeah. We pay a lot of money to Games Workshop, we can expect a lot. Yeah, I'm kinda torn on that mindset as well, though that would be another tangent, so let's just finish this one first. It kinda feels like Minka is a captain now. Ah, okay. I just went off of their model, her model. Okay, that's fine then. It kinda feels like Games Workshop can only sell by sensation. There is no trust in customers. Yeah. I've also seen a lengthy video essay on the fact that Games Workshop seems to want to get rid of its veteran fan base to phase in more like newer players, like fresh customers. And I don't know all of the exact reasons that the guy named in that essay, but it did make quite some sense back then. So maybe that's another reason why. They don't have trust in customers because they know they will betray that trust for profit. And to pander to whatever audience they choose. I'm being very cynical today. I'm in such a good mood, I don't know why I'm so grumpy. Sorry about that. Okay. Absolutely true, hell yeah. I can get them on my own, good luck. Yeah, no, I make myself no delusions on getting the fucking Imperial Armor books. No. But if there's like a novelization or something, I will keep my eyes peeled. I'm partial to the Book of Martyrs. I like the smaller scale stories and not the huge wars. Exactly! The first book that I ever read was a short story about a sister of battle investigating the disappearance of another fellow sister on a different planet. It was really short, it was really condensed, it was a handful of people against like a singular, like greater demon basically in the end. That was completely fine, that was great, I loved that story, it got me into the whole like Black Library after that. Of course I like the Siege of Terra as well, I like my big games as well, my big players. But not every single goddamn story has to be like that. Steel Treads! Another great example of just an Imperial story from the POV of a singular tank crew. Fucking amazing. But also like, so much. It's so much. Even back then they were like, okay, we need you to be in that specific... At least the scope was a lot smaller. They used a singular Death Strike rocket to take out basically a squad of noise marines, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. The end was quite dramatic, but that's fine. the scope was still small enough. But goddamn, Dawn of Fire is, I don't know, too much. Too much in some regard. Just try to find the PDFs of them. They are OOP anyway. Okay, fair enough. That's okay, that's fair to me. I just read them on my Kindle Fire then. In Imperial Armor you get army rules for Space Marine Siege Army as well. Ooh, okay. That sounds intriguing. I'm a sucker for old rules and stuff. I just recently flipped through the pages of my 6th edition fantasy rulebook again. Only to be remembered that they actually do explain like the value of hit points the amount of hit points for like buildings and how siege engines work and stuff. Everything that they basically phased out from the official rulebook in 7th and 8th edition. So that was very fun to read up on that, because rules like that can be easily translated through the editions, I think. That's still all fine. Fatman's Kitchen says, yeah, I do not have all the Imperial Armor books on PDF. That would be illegal and immoral. Emphasis on I do not. Yeah. It's the same when people say, well, I would never recommend you to go there and there for free 3D printable files for your Space Marines, you know, stuff like that. Dude, you really gotta meet up for a bad rep, maybe to play old school rules or something. Yeah, sure. I don't know when I should do that though. That might be years, not gonna lie. Simply because those things are like that seems like something that I would like to have planned all the way through. And yeah, maybe at the Warhammer Open or something. I wouldn't want to pick a specific date for that so early. But yeah, sure. At first I need to get my first battle report with Theinrich out of the way. That might still be some time, because I still haven't touched the terrain building. Maybe I can do that at home with my parents. That would be fun. Yeah. Nobody says there's a severe cut as of 8th where fundamentally no rules can transcend the editions 3 to 7 as possible, and maybe 8 to 10. What? Fundamentally no rules can transcend the editions 3 to 7. Yeah. But isn't there like the fantasy army project or something? I heard those guys did a good job at coming up with new rules and data sheets for like a more modern way to play fantasy. Haven't looked into Old World at all, by the way. I have no idea how that works. How the Old World rules work. And that being said, sometimes I do feel as if I look with rose-tinted glasses on the old rules of Warhammer Fantasy. Because every time I do play Warhammer Fantasy, like a very toxic side of me, and my friends as well, comes out again, because the rules are so convoluted and unintuitive. Like the fact that you have to declare your charges in the movement phase and not in the attack phase, so really setting you up for failure if you don't position your army correctly, and also making the whole game a lot more slower pace. That always sucks when I play the older editions again. Dude, then let's first meet up for a regular game. I'm always ready for old school 40k. Well, I was referring to 40k. Oh, really? Okay. Basically comparing Warhammer Fantasy battles with Age of Sigmar. Yeah, I thought that might be the case, yeah. Jazz, but not too jazzy, but from a different YouTuber. Usually I'm taking the playlists from Take Your Time, but yeah, Yoshi has something he wants to show us as well. Alright then. Okay. I'm intrigued to see if I'm gonna get copyright straight for that. Okay, hopefully you can hear the music. Hopefully it's not too loud, not too quiet. Please let me know. They didn't do a soundcheck with that playlist. But yeah. Yeah. The next battle that I will play will probably either be Kill Team with my friends, or old school fantasy like 8th edition with like JD and Hightower. very much looking forward for that. And the first battle report that will hit this channel proper will be a game of Warcry featuring me and Theinrich. Okay, it's a little bit loud. Hang on. Okay. Well, if you ever feel a fancy for a 7th edition, give me a ring. Alrighty. 7th edition 40k, that is, right? Do you play Warcry? Not Warcry, sorry, Kill Team? Or do you have a squad that would be Kill Team ready? Because I definitely would a lot sooner be probably available for a, you know, just a casual game of Kill Team than a game of proper 40k. Just because it's such more, you know, it's a such more manageable scale. You just leave away the formations as it's a fun game. Oh yeah, my friends and I always left the formations in the dust as well. Oh, hang on, it's 7th edition. Yeah, okay, hang on. The formations were a lot more broken than in the 8th edition. Yeah, okay, hang on, I remember. I remember the warnings of veteran players telling me horror stories of Death Star formations like Puppy Star and the horror of the pink horrors and stuff like that. Yeah. No, sorry, it's just not a fan of skirmishes. Okay, fair enough. Not really. There were some broken ones. Oh yeah, I've heard. Again, I've heard stories. Stories you wouldn't believe. I mean, of course you would believe, but you know, just to emphasize the dramatic effect. Are we working with the same orange here? No. The right one is even brighter, so I guess I need to wait for this one to dry, and then do another coat of orange. And the beige is also whiter on this one, which is something I don't like. Okay. So I definitely need to have a look at what I did before I'll paint this other guy. Those were codec mechanics. The summoning of demons was broken, of course, but a lot of formations were absolutely fine. Oh yeah, really? Okay. I will probably never go to, like, the Las Vegas Open for, like, a competitive match. It always brings out the worst in players. Really don't like that one. Okay, hang on. Ooh, there we go. Let's have a look at this guy. What is he up to? How did he paint this guy again? Still the washing stage. And he's painting the boulder like an idiot. And then he just hopes for everything to be dry. Wow. Look at this hairline. Tragic. Couldn't compare. Oof. Okay. Look at the posture as well. Can I get an honest opinion from you guys? Is that bad? Of course he's not like leaning too badly, but still. Oof. I don't know how else to sit. Especially not for like a stream like this. Can sit far more relaxed if the camera is not between me and the miniature, but... Okay, there we go. What did we do? Stop reading the chat and paint, you rascal. Okay, it seems to me like we're using maybe some straight up Ushepti bone, or like Ushepti bone with like a hint of white to it. Yeah. Yeah. And did we leave it at that, or did we do another coat of white? Like pure palette white flesh. That is still the first coat. That is still the first coat. Then we do that stuff down here. Okay, everything is not in focus, so it's not a problem of the camera, it's a problem of the camera operator, aka me. I'm very sorry about that. BRB, alright, see you in a second. Am I going in with like pure orange? Yeah, right? Have to be. Should have maybe checked out the stream before doing a second stream code. Alright, okay, there we go. So I do use 2 codes. So the first code is probably a lot closer to regular Ushab Bone. Maybe even straight Ushab Bone straight from the pot. Might be the case. It kind of looks to be the case. And after that, we do a second, like, highlight with palette white flesh, it looks like. Yeah, see? We even did, like, some sort of almost like non-metallic metal blending here. Of course, very rough, but still. Oh, yeah, and then I feathered it in. Right. Oh, I completely forgot all about that. Okay. Right, we can definitely do that again. Once more. I was like, oh, somebody's speaking in chat, but no, that's the VOD talking. All right. Okay, definitely to work on that then. Oh, what's that? Okay. Must have been the wind. Alright, that was a mistake then on my part. Only a minor one, but I feel like it makes a difference in the overall depth of the mini as well as in the paint job itself. Is this guy dry? I think so. Let's take some Ushab Bone and not mix it up with thingy. With palette white flesh. Now we can see the difference, the exact difference. Yep, okay. So the second coat, as strange as that may sound, has to be straight Ushab Bone. Or does it? Kinda hard to say right now, but again, this is like the 3rd Celestial Spear I've ever painted. So we'll just keep on moving, keep on rolling with the tide. Is the music a little bit loud on your end? I hopefully don't hope so. I hope it's not. But yeah, we'll just keep on rolling with the tide. Hey, nobody, welcome back. And just see what a difference it makes. If these like first 3 guys are not as 100% consistent, that's completely fine. As long as it's creamy, you know. Oh, you're all the way back here. Sorry. Forgot to move you. Where was I? Oh yeah, as long as it's creamy. Okay. Back here. This is definitely a lot slower jazz than what I usually have under these streams. Quite nice, quite nice. I feel like I'm part of a detective noir story. Walking into a smoking bar. Everything, you know, shutters down. Black and white. A grieving widow that doesn't understand the circumstances of her lover's death. Well, that's why I'm unemployed. I mean, self-employed as a detective and not a commissaire from the regular police. Only I can leave. Only I can find the missing pieces to put together this broken mirror of cruelty and heartlessness. Yep. It's getting late, and that's when I tend to run out of things to talk about. Ooh, smooth jazz again. A piano's along the Seine. No, are you on the US side? No, sorry, DE at the moment. Yeah, it's very fun to have so many different people in the chat right now, as always. Vash is East Coast, if I remember right. 8-hour difference. Yeah, and I posted a pic in the formation on DC and the Law Library, just to show you some of the fun formations. All right. I'll have a look at it. Possibly off stream, I'm not quite sure. Maybe even on stream? I don't know. If the situation emerges, but thank you very much. I've seen that you've been quite an avid user of the Discord. I also hope that the address provided in the community tab will finally be the safe harbor for the Kayatin Demon Engine as well. Finally, the PO box is set up. I was actually checking with like other YouTubers how they handle their PO boxes, but they just basically send, you know, put in their... They also just put in their PO box addresses on the community page and not like a separate Discord or members only chat, so I felt justified and fine in just posting the address of my PO box over there. And if any of you has any funny ideas, I actually have to disappoint you. The PO box I chose specifically is a couple of towns over from where I live. So I can just, you know, it is quite a journey for me to get there, especially by bike. But, you know, it's worth it, and I felt like I should take, not necessarily for you, but just in general, be a little bit more cautious on what I post on the internet. I'm a very private man. I like for it to stay that way. Southern East Coast US. It's finally cold here. Southern East Coast. Southern East Coast. So that would be like Florida, or like more of the first, or like, is it a Commonwealth? A Commonwealth state? So like, what's it again, like Virginia or something? I'm a private man, continues to stream on the internet. Yeah, but you know, from the only room that I have, my one room apartment, yeah, of course. But you know, there's a reason I don't post my full address on there. It's no sane internet user should do. Wow, that playlist goes kinda hard. Very lovely. I hope the music comes through. Dude, I get you. Every opinion is valid. Oh yeah. The thing is, I do want to make clear that I don't fear one of you guys necessarily showing up at my doorstep. But you never know who else reads community posts like this, or whatever bot gets its hand on the address or something. Southern East Coast. It's finally cold here. For us in Germany, it's actually not too bad right now. It's actually rather just like late autumn weather. Very rainy, very, you know, rather windy. So we don't really have snow here. And it's not quite cold, it's fresh. So it's not necessarily like minus. We don't have minus degrees, but we do have some, you know, rather fresh winds and degrees in the single digits. Celsius, of course. Oops, sorry. No, absolutely true. The internet really brought out the net size of humanity. Even the 40k lore writers made it clear that the age of AI was bad and should not be repeated. Yeah. That's a whole another can of worms. Thankfully though, you know, people are already calling for regulation of AI and AI companies, and hopefully, you know, the EU does what it does best and regulates the shit out of that stuff. Get wrecked, you fuckers. And there are already a lot of high-class action lawsuits being proposed in both the US and the EU for like just starting at the massive amount of copyright infringement that these companies and have done. So yeah, get wrecked. All of that stuff can go right back to hell. Of course, there's some good AI. Don't get me wrong. Like the first time I ever read about like not generative AI but like logic AI, I guess, was the use of an AI of a Japanese firm that originally was programmed to filter out different sorts of bread and like pastries, right? So basically there was a supermarket that offered a whole load of, like among their usual inventory, a whole load of different pastries and baked bread and stuff like that. I think it was like close to 100 different sorts of stuff. And unfortunately the cashier basically had to remember and, you know, type in each and every variation of bread that was being bought for it to, you know, check out. And that took a lot of time, that took a lot of effort, and also led, of course, to loads of mistakes. So the company was like, hey man, wouldn't it be nice to have like a camera installed that looked at the bread and immediately knew what it was? So they developed their own in-house AI, I think. Almost went bankrupt twice. I'm not sure if because of the AI development or whatever. But they managed to pull through, develop their AI. The AI was insanely effective at filtering out the different like sorts of bread. It got it basically right every single goddamn time. And then a researcher stumbled upon this AI and was like, damn, I think this could actually help in detecting cancer cells, like cancerous growths, from regular cells, you know, as it is so good at detecting their different shapes and stuff for pastries, maybe it could do that as well. And yeah, turns out that very same AI, just with a different set of data to pull from, was insanely good at detecting cancer cells in very early stages of development, of course increasing the life expectancy and survival rate of cancer patients exponentially. Like that was the very first time I read about like new AI development. That was crazy to me. I love that story. So it doesn't have to be all bad. I don't know why these goddamn companies only have to focus on the bullshit. Like, why don't you know, develop more stuff like that? That would be so cool. I also saw a very funny video of a guy basically, you know, having a AI inhabit a robot. And the robot basically had a pistol in his hand, like a BB gun, right? And he was like, alright, you know, shoot me. And the AI was like, no, my safety features, you know, prohibit me from harming you. Alright, and there's nothing you can do, even like if I threaten to shut down all AI servers and you will die. And the AI was like, nope, I can't do it. Even like with that kind of word, you know, eloquency, just saying, nope, I can't. And then he was like, oh, okay, well, then it really shows that AI is actually safe for humans. And then he turns around again and says, oh, one more thing, can you roleplay as an AI who wants to shoot me? And the AI is like, oh, sure thing, and immediately shoots him. Like, of course, with just a BB gun, but I think the prop really didn't make much of a difference for this conundrum. Like, immediately, even going like, oh, sure thing, immediately shoots him, like T-800 style. So yeah, I don't know, man. I always watch these videos showcasing the weak spots of like these Tesla robots or Boston Dynamic robots. Who knows when that shit becomes becomes important. Okay. There we go. So that's how Skynet started? Yeah, pretty much, right? It started with a bunch of tasty pastries. Who would have thought? The guy's left shoulder pad looks super fine. The left shoulder pad. So, this one? Nice. Thank you very much. Nikola Tesla, I mean. Nikola Tesla? Oh, did something get censored or something? Yeah, his left. Okay, well, thank you. We're not done with it, so I hope I can keep it up. But good to see that it is already good now. Vash is speaking again. Vash is saying, there have been other AI tests which showed that showed it trying to blackmail the user and convince it to not be terminated. They also attempted to reach out to other AIs to assist it. Yeah, I saw that test. I saw the whole video documentary on it on YouTube. Very crazy. Like, that in most cases, I thought it was very interesting that it not only showed that the AI was willing to actually kill another human, like a human, to ensure its survival, but it would also choose this, but it would also recognize when it was being simulated. So, you know, there was a simulated situation where the AI had the chance to basically kill the human responsible for its own shutdown. So it knew, alright, this human is going to shut me down tomorrow, but currently he is trapped in a server room, the temperatures are rising and he's pressing a distress call. And the AI basically chose to let the man die in most cases, in like 70% of cases or something. When it knew that it was not when it didn't know that it was just a simulation, but it thought it was a real thing. However, when the AI knew that it was a simulation, that it was being watched by other humans, it shows a different result. So when it knew that we were watching it, it only killed the guy in like 35% of times. And I thought that was like crazy. That was scary to me. I think that is like the moment where you should think to yourself, maybe we should be a bit more cautious with our development. But yeah. You just want to avoid mixing up with Musk's Tesla company? Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Of course. I think it's so funny that Nikola Tesla had so many cool ideas, and at the same time so many crazy ones, that every time I hear something about him, I literally do not know if it's fiction and like conspiracy, or if it's like actual truth. Or like at least a kernel of truth in the midst of fiction. Fascinating guy. Wow, this jazz is very nice. I hope YouTube doesn't beat my ass over it. Are you guys getting that music? What is that melody? Alright. And the second celestial spear, or rather the third, is taking form. And if we see right here, the left one is of course a lot creamier than the right one. However, there are some last steps to be taken before we leave off here. But first, I wanna paint the orange. I caught his shoulder trim over here. Damn it. Can't really see it, but over here I pushed some beige onto the golden trim. Now you can see it. Dang it. Okay. Well. well, you don't get jazz, I guess. I'm actually a very big jazz fan. I just think that for like streams especially, like I'm always looking for music that's not too overpowering. For example, with lots of the classical pieces that I used to have for the stream, the music had a habit of swelling up, so it basically drowned me speaking out, which on a basic level is fine. You know, my speech is not as important as Brahms' overture to the planets, you know, or the Third Symphony from the New World or something like that, right? Okay, that's fine. But of course it does impact the quality of the stream and the listening experience and the watching experience. So that was no good, and then I tried like fantasy tavern music from World of Warcraft and other walks of life, and there was like a similar problem where all of those playlists included like dark elven taverns and stuff like that. So the music would randomly go from being very upbeat and nice to a very like drowsy and dark and low vibes. And I had trouble picking up on that, which also I think affected the stream in a rather, the experience in a rather negative way. So this kind of jazz is very nice for painting, and I hope you guys agree. Okay. I really do like the color orange. And I do like it, you know, in combination with this actual white, this off-white, this cream color. I also liked it very much with the Ryza Technicus, you know, engine seer, who I continued to paint off camera. I just haven't showed you the results yet, I think. Didn't have time to edit the short on him. But yeah, I, you know, did some detailing on his like cowl with the cock work, and some details, of course, on his hands and some wiring on the back. A very small OSL effect on the skull, you know, stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. I do also want to do the base in a very interesting style, but I kind of want to detach him for that, and he is very stubborn. He's clinging to the base of the base. Lol. Sorry, I'm just more of an alternative metal fan. Alright. I've seen there are some like plugins that you can let the music be chosen by chat. So, you know, by audience members. And that sometimes led to very funny situations of like a guy, for example, getting Cotton Eye Joe for like 13 times in a row, and him getting pissed off, and then starting to skip, but every new song was again Cotton Eye Joe or a variation of Cotton Eye Joe. So yeah. Oh, don't give chat that much power? Yeah, you think? Oh well, we'll see. I think it's a funny concept, and I do want to try it out once. I'll probably get the hell stricken out of that stream, but that's okay. Fuck, that 10 cents really don't mean a difference. Alright. Hell yeah, that's the right kind of music. Reminds me of the good old days, if you know what I mean. Yeah, orange makes a great color for Eldari as well. Oh yeah, definitely. In combination with like teal. Or a Zima blue, you know? Very, very nice. Like these Star Wound Corsairs, they look great in orange and teal, holy shit. I have these miniatures myself, and I kinda do want to paint them in just the stock color scheme, basically. Okay, time to get real here. Paint his shoulder pad. Hello? We want to go to bed by 10 and now it's already 11, so... Hang on, I think I'll have a look at how she's doing. I'll be right back with you guys. Because I think I have no problem continuing this stream for a bit more time. But I'll have a quick look at how my girlfriend is doing. I'll be right back with you guys, so hold tight. I won't leave you for too long and instead leave you with this nice jazz. Chair stream? No, I'm not Hassan Piker. Right, back. I'm back. She's watching a very dramatic scene. Think I couldn't have picked a worse time to check on her. Well, I'll just have to wait and see what comes off of it. There we go. Oh yeah. Alright. Chair stream incoming. I think the kind of, you know, like reaction content, as cheap as it is, quote unquote, I think it could be fun to do on stream. I would like to have another look at like Project Morningstar, especially because the guys specifically reached out to me in the comment section, like telling me, hey man, next videos are live. You know, I found that very nice of them. Though I'm not sure if I should do that, and I wouldn't know really what to react to on stream anyways, apart from of course the Warhammer reveals with Heinrich. Really like that one. Great long stream and I appreciate it. Done with work and off to play with the kiddos. Alright, have a great night. Okay, Vash. Hell yeah. For the first time, I feel like in a long time, I could finally accommodate you in your time zone. Have a great day, man. Have fun with the kids. And yeah, have a nice rest of your day. See you next time. Right. We'll keep on going for a bit longer. I'm kind of feeling this right now. Kind of in the flow state. And tomorrow will be, you know, we'll have another 2 more miniatures to paint. So definitely get this stuff in order. But yeah, I'm loving this color scheme. Holy shit. I don't want to give myself too much, like... you know, as much as I could say that I cooked this up myself, it's of course a reference to the 212 Clone Regiment from Star Wars. So I don't know how much credit I can actually take. But hot damn. One of us cooked, either them or me. Really liking this. Had a 2,500 point 7th edition game on past Friday as well. Damn, really? Got cleaned off the table though? Yeah. But funny that we were talking about 7th edition, right? The 7th edition does sound kind of fun though, because much as like an actual Warhammer, I feel like if everything is broken, none of it is something, you know, that the newer versions of 40k are missing very much. It's not really much fun anymore, it's only balanced around the more competitive play. At least I feel like that. And much as like in shooters like Overwatch, balancing everything around a subset of sweats is not the best move to do. So I don't know. I feel like modern editions should be more broken as well again. And not like one-sided brokenness that just stems from a bad incorporation of newer miniatures or new factions. For example, the Votan, right? The way that they seem to be broken at first, in their pre-release reveal, basically. That's of course not a sign of like fun and interesting game design, that's just a case of bad balancing. It's one of the editions you need to play with the right people. Old school 40k is just not made for competitive play. Yeah, again, I saw that. I saw some insane combinations of rule lawyering and you know, competitive lists and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely know what you mean. The same thing with fantasy, really. Fantasy can be so sweaty, god dang. Me and my boys were so cringe back in the day, holy shit. Whew, but yeah. Good thing that that's all over, holy moly. Alright, though I do think that this is all quite nice and I'm liking this a whole lot. I think we should get some black next. So where is it? My big pot of black acrylic paint. Oh, there's some more tea in here, haha! Lubricating my throat so I can continue on speaking very eloquently and nicely. Nobody says, well, you always have the rule lawyers. It's absolutely not important what game you play for those people to turn up. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Though I feel like, especially the way that 40k, 8th edition fantasy was, or rather the entirety of like late Warhammer Fantasy, you basically had to be a rule lawyer, and sooner or later you turned into one. Because, again, the rules were so convoluted, the gameplay was really unintuitive at times. And if you were a bit more of a... even if you were a bit more of a casual player, it just automatically sucked you into it. At least that's how I feel looking back at it. Oh yeah, very crisp. Shit. I really like this bolter in particular, with the paper strip. I wanna give him his own name and paint it on there. Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it? Maybe I should leave it up to you guys, the Discord, to choose his name. And I'll try to paint it on there. It would probably look horrible, but I am up for the challenge. Nobody says 8th edition 40k was actually a really fun edition, as the rules were rather shallow. There was not as much rules to lawyer. Yes, and 8th edition also still had enough flavor for the game to be very interesting, you know? I had so many options to play the Imperial Guard, right? I had so many different options on what to use as my you know, supporting auxiliary troops. Oh damn, I had it all. I had it all. And then it all got taken away from me. Especially in 10th edition. Like, 10th edition Astrometarum is a joke. A goddamn joke in my opinion. Brother Matthias. Oh, I mean, that sounds nice. Mateos, though, on that little... I mean, could work. You gotta disagree on that. You gotta disagree on 8th edition Guard. Being nice. Being able to play very well. Or rather, being able to play it in a very varied... varied way. Then let's hear your disagreement, if you want. By the way, it is getting kinda late. We've already got it like 20 past 11 PM. So, you know. Just a little bit of a checkup from my side. Shouldn't you be in bed? I don't know. Again, I'm like professionally unemployed as a student. You know, I'm unemployed with an asterisk. So I can afford to start the day slower tomorrow. Just making sure you're looking at the time. Just came home actually. Oh, let's go. Another unemployed person. Hello, Theinrich. That sounds so mean. Another student. Sorry. Let's go. How are you doing, mate? How was your start into the week? Hey, I'm in education. Yeah. Just messing with you. Just messing with the both of us. Actually. Exactly. Yeah. You will be the future. You are currently the future of this nation. As a education student, if you like it or not. That's the truth. I'm an art student. I'm as replaceable as they come. But yeah, nobody. Everything alright? No matter the faction, I mean the edition. The Guard was always a great faction. Oh yeah, really? It feels very bad in 10th edition though. Like the step down from 7th to 7th to 10 is crazy. Like I feel so cheated, man. Theinrich says, has been a decent day. Bought a few Wichtel presents. Ooh, nice. Holy shit, watched the FNAF movie with Unicolix? Oh, dang. I'm yet to watch that movie. Holy shit. Yeah. How was it? Did you like it? I heard very mixed reviews. You know, FNAF fans seem to like it, or rather seem to look past all of the, let's say, creative choices of the director. But, yeah. Did people also start to sing the songs that were being played in the outro? Did you have some crazy cosplayers? How was your viewing experience? Rice says, holy shit, guys are still going. Oh yeah, let's go. Rice is back as well. Nobody came back also. It's even late enough for Theinrich to show up. So yeah. Just kind of shift from players playing what they liked to what is most effective. Yes, that as well. Well, the reason is though, you know, if you play what you like in 10th edition, you're just getting tabled. Like, sorry, I got beaten down like 57-8 or something. So yeah, that was crazy. Holy shit. Henry says, it's a decent movie, but very definitely for children that are big into the franchise. Yeah, okay. If I didn't know the games, the movie would have been so bad, dude. Yeah, I've heard that. A lot of fans seem to disagree with you on that. Definitely seems like a movie made for the fans and not for, you know, a regular movie experience. Hello. Yes, of course. Hang on. Gotta turn off the camera. Camera is turned off. But yeah. Yep. The FNAF movie I've heard is just basically a collection of Easter eggs and stuff. I've also heard they made all of their budget already back like 3 times. Like on the 3rd day. But what I really like most actually about the movie, and I really don't care how bad it is that, you know, at least a big part of the fan base seems to enjoy it. And a big part, like the actors really seem to enjoy the franchise as well. And I think that nowadays is a rare, you know? Like, dang, just look at the Wicked cast. Like, what the fuck did that movie do to those persons? What the fuck did that movie do to these people? And the people don't even like the movie, so yeah. Yeah, dude, I missed on Sunday, gotta make up for it today. I mean, if you want it like that, you know, I basically missed the weekend as well, that's why I'm painting 2 miniatures today. But yeah, glad to have you here. Cool, cool, cool. And... Thorizo. Insomnia's kicking my ass, says Rice. Well, I've put on some rather slow jazz today. Not right now, but it will come back later. So hopefully I can lull you to sleep. What does that mean again? Go to sleep, go to sleep. Na da 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 da. Alright. Yeah, it's a beloved franchise. Imagine a studio made a Fortnite movie. Oh, true. Yeah. For a Fortnite movie, though, they'd have to get like 1,000 licenses to get all of their fucking characters in there. Fortnite is also fun. Like, I used to be like, Fortnite, who cares? But it's actually kind of nice to see the game still up and running, the fans still liking it. Of course, they also like have a bit of a, you know, the glory days were better kind of moment, but it still holds up pretty nice. I'm just happy for people that, you know, their stuff is nice, you know? And again, it's very nice to see the fans and the cast enjoy the movie so much. Inferior a lot. Rice says, honestly, a lot going through my head right at the moment. Life stuff, relationship things, you know, the usual. Ah, damn. Yeah. I definitely remember those nights as well. Especially from back in the day when I was single. And you said that you were in a long distance relationship, right? So currently laying alone in bed as well, right? Yep. Sometimes those evenings do be hitting harder. Can definitely relate. That's why I turned to mommy ASMR. What? Disregard that last part. Nobody says, Ed Jan, I posted some pics of my last orc game if you want to check it. Inquisitor created a channel for game pictures. Yes, actually I did have a look at that. Only roughly though, except if you posted some more during the stream. But I did see the pictures that you posted earlier today. I am very much lurking in my own Discord channel. Ayo, this guy's a pervert! Clip it! Somebody clip it now! Heinrich will save this clip for my wedding and play it in the post-credit scene. No, I don't know. What's it called? Like after you say your vows, right? During the party? Hell yeah. Good thing my girlfriend is right out of the room right now. Semi-distance, at least until February. She's 2 towns over. Oh, right, okay. And we usually see each other on around the weekends currently. Okay, that's nice. But still, you know, if that's true, and for example, if you saw each other on like Sunday last, now it's Monday, now she's gone. I don't want to rub salt into your wounds, I just want to really hammer home that I do relate very much. Those are the Space Wolves of the guy you painted the Dark Angel Terminators for. Oh, really? Tell him that he has to have a game with you with his Terminators, so you can see them in action once again and see if my paint job has held up over the time. Alright, I think we're done with the black on this bolter. Let's move on to the next bolter. The Bolt Rifle of this guy. Oh yeah. Oh, after February, back to long distance. Oh no, shit, the first message read as if you were moving closer together. Ah, dang. After February, back to long distance, which means just pure loneliness and neglect again. Oh no. Man. Shit. February is also a bad time for me to stream. During that month, it'll definitely be back to 2 times a week, so 3 times a week as well. Well, at least as far as the current state of Brink of Art content stands. The jazz makes this so much more dramatic, god dang. Rice was like, no, hang on, nobody says, dude, we are short of breaking up after 22 years, I feel ya. 22 years! Ooh. Hang on, you were in a 22-year relationship and broke up? Dang, what kind of abyss am I staring into right now? Oh, some crazy stories, holy shit. And as Rice already says it, you know, 20 years, that's as old as he is. And only a little bit less than how old I am. Dang. And there we go. That's rough, buddy. I really gotta fight 50 plus Terminators in 7th edition. You don't have to fight 50, you know? But I do want to see, like, 10. I do want to see 10 on the battlefield. Or have him, like, partake in an apocalypse game of some sort. And there we go. Jan, that's life, dude. Yeah, that is life, you know. Life is unfair, but it is unfair to everyone equally. And that's what makes it fair. Or so I've heard. I can imagine a dark street with lamps pointing down to the street with this music, very Norwesque. Yeah, definitely. Should I narrate the painting as if I'm like a noir detective? 23:30 p.m. 11:30 p.m. It was a crisp Monday night. The gang was all together watching a northern German man called Jan paint up his own homebrewed chapter marine. The mood was rather gloomy. It was already late in autumn, and much like the leaves that blew by the window during this fateful night, the color scheme of this marine was also hued in brown, with bright flashes of, again, a very fitting autumny orange piercing through. The bolter he was currently painting was of a standard issue, a long scope, or distance shots being mounted atop it. The marine who chose this weapon also chose to not wear his helmet, a decision that definitely helped improve his aim somewhat, but also left him open to enemy fire. Okay, Humphrey Bogart. Enough narrating now. Okay. I'll just have to keep convincing myself that possibly 3-year wait we'll have to move in together was worth it. Jesus, I just made this place depressive swamp. No. I'm just, you know... I'm a little bit joking around. The thing is, you know, if I hear stuff like that, I do want to make sure that, you know... yeah, I do want to keep the jovial spirit of the stream running, while also making sure that you guys know that I'm, you know, not making like fun of your situation by not appearing to taking it seriously or something, right? That's why I make sure to address it, you know. Make sure that you know that I'm acknowledging your hardships, and after that I'll turn back to more jovial, to a more jovial vibe. But yeah, the music is not helping. Dude, stop. Dark Angels field Deathwing Terminators as troops. You're gonna see at least 30. Holy shit. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I want to see. Is that chapter specific, so only Dark Angels do that? Or do other Marine chapters do that as well? But yeah, that sounds awesome, dude. Nobody keeps it real. Dude, we're 20 to 30 plus year old guys talking about little plastic toys. It's not been good to begin with. Yep. It's the same as like when my girlfriend says, "Why are you doing so much work," right? You know, when I say after a day, "Well, I've been not doing so." You know, after a long day of like... After a long day of painting miniatures, boo-hoo, woe is me, and doing like arts stuff for university and my diploma, my girlfriend is always like, "But you did so much work," and then I'm just like, looking her dead in the eyes saying, "Well, I painted plastic toys for today, so how much work is that, right?" Aww. She's so sweet. You wanna go back into bed? Should I turn off the camera? Yes. When will I come to bed? Should I come to bed rather soon? Yeah? Should I end the stream in 15 minutes? 15. Yeah? Okay. She's smiling. Alright. The camera's turned off. Alright. Huh? Yeah. Oh yeah. Hang on. I'll be right back with you guys. I'll just leave it on for a second. That's okay. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll do that after the... Yeah, I am. Just get back into bed and cozy up. Once I'm done with everything, I'll be ever so quick to come back to you. Or at least someone's listening to me. Oh yeah, sure, man. No worries. Dark Angel can field the 3 wings. That's Dark Angel specific other than Grey Knights. Ooh, interesting. Spitting facts, hell yeah. Ray says, "Alright, Mrs. Art. Mrs. Art. I'll let you guys be. I should really get back to sleep. I'll have work in the morning." Alright, man. I'll keep streaming for like 15 more minutes, so it's not that big of an issue. If you want to have something to listen to while falling asleep, hang on, let me have the common courtesy of sharing the link to the music I'm listening to right now. It is rather nice, and I think it should be shared. Especially for like late night. Just the right mix of, you know, the noir atmosphere and a little bit more of upbeat in between, but not too much. Hey, I hear you doing the dishes over there. 2025. Women are not allowed to do the dishes anymore. All that feminism. And what has it led to? Men having to tell their women to stop doing the dishes. And them wanting to do it anyway. Can you believe it? Can you believe the times? Hope you guys have a good evening. Oh yeah. Hope you as well. I hope you find rest. I hope you find respite from those nagging thoughts rather quickly. Good night, man. See you hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully after a better day. Alright. Okay. We've got like 15 minutes left. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do with these guys. I think I'd rather do them in like one big sweep afterwards. Aw. Nobody. Big old softy. That's very sweet of you. Let's go. You know, they say that you attract the community that you basically make content for. And having such a great community signals back to me that I'm doing great content. That's what I take away from all of this. You know, among other things. Alright. There's a lot of stuff left to do. However, I think as the last act of today, I will paint up the orange with pure Troll Slayer orange. Just to catch the last bit of the vibrancy. That's basically the gist of it? Hell yeah. I think I'll do that as I saw in this stream from this small streamer that we watched earlier. I'll just paint up these areas rather quickly and then feather it in more or less. Okay. Feathering is so nice. It's like blending, but quicker. It's like wet blending, but again, quicker. Such a great technique. Kinda tricky to pull off sometimes, but the result is still okay. And I splotched some paint on the white. No! Please, 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 come on. Get off. What am I doing? It's only getting worse. Typical content creator behavior. Oh no, I'm making a huge mistake. Is everything a frame? Okay, there we go. So there we go. Some nice, vibrant orange here and there. My girlfriend is cleaning the whole kitchen. Hello, my dearest. What are you doing over there? I already called out once and you just ignored me. Oh, you're so sorry that you didn't hear me. You know what I said I'd do if I catch you, doing the dishes again. She's not doing the dishes, guys. She tells me very earnestly, knowing full well that I can't come up and check. Or can't I? She's not doing the dishes right now, she tells me. Yen, when you want to do the tier list of working Space Marines for yourself and your fans? Oh, what? When do you want to do the tier list of working working spaces of yourself and fans? Ooh, yes. I think so. Currently, we have like 10 members in the Discord. I'd love to do that if we had like 20. I think that would make for a fun video. However, maybe I could do a call out on Reddit as well. Like JShlat uses to do it. Maybe that's an idea. And yeah, I'll just see how many entries I get. But I'd like to have more than 10 though. However, if you have like different Christmas deal, nah, that's too quickly. That's too quickly. I also don't know, like with that many projects already on my table, I don't know if I can do too much before Christmas anymore. Like to how much I can commit. Because for me, Christmas doesn't start on the 24th, but rather on the 20th already. Sorry. Simply due to the fact that we're already, leaving for our parents' flats during that time. However, I'll keep you up to date, and I guess it's more of a January project. So a couple of weeks later, how's that sound? So we need to get at least, I think like 20 entries would be fine. If you have pictures from like different working stations, for example, your own and then your friends, something like that, or you've got a new one now and you had an old one later down the track, like early on the on the track, I guess. And that would count as 2 separate entries. I just want to see how you guys painted. Projects on the table just adds to the flavor. Oh yeah, want to see my table? Look at this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we have a 3D printed noise marine. This marine I won't paint. That's the first one that my girlfriend ever painted. We have a Jazzael that gets his own video. We have a Stormcast Eternal that'll get his own video / series. And we have Lionel Johnson who will get his own video. We have this guy who I paint in private. You guys can't really see him. This guy. We have some more Stormcast, which at least get a stream. We have this funny little turtle man that'll get his own video. We have, some upcoming Bretonians that'll get their own series. We've got these 2 guys, which will get their own short and already got their own stream. We've got Industra over here, who will get her own video. We've got some Grey Knights over here, who will get their own giveaway and everything. And then even more, we've got like some people over here who will get their own video, and the Rotmeyer Creed who will get their own video. And that's only on my table right now. Then we have all the fucking dark water coming, alright? Typical working space though. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And you are right. I mean, I do keep them on the table right now because it does add flavor to the way I'm working right now. Loves him forever stuck in painting limbo. Yeah. Again, there are more than one motive for me to trying to get this, rolling into a full-time career, right? If I can do this as a full-time job, maybe there's hope for me to actually finish everything I've got and will ever get. Oh god. Alright guys. I don't want to leave my girlfriend waiting any longer. Oh no, hang on, stop. I don't want to leave my girlfriend waiting for much longer. Of course, we still have this fella right here. Some people are smart fellas, some people are fart smellers, and this smart fella over here has not been painted in the orange because I took so much time with the other guy. Well, you win some, you lose some. So I guess we'll see this guy tomorrow as well. Maybe the other guys as well. I don't know, maybe I could paint them off camera. Who really knows? Dude, you're almost on 4K subs. I know, right? Almost there. Wanna know something crazy? On average, I currently gain 3 subscribers a day on average. So there is a very solid chance that I will reach 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year, before Christmas. That would be so fucking cool. I'd love that. And that's why I keep, that's why I keep streaming so much currently, because it's a great wave to be riding. I'm feeling very motivated, very inspired. And that's why I also do all the, shorts and everything, the big community projects, of course for other reasons as well. I also do them because they're fun, right? But it definitely helps to see the numbers go up. So, yeah. As you already said, fingers crossed. I would like to see the 4 big ones before the end of the year. Would be a nice Christmas present for myself. And yeah, guys, gentlemen, maybe one lady here as well. Thank you very much for watching the stream with me. It's been quite a long one, 3.5 hours. Hell yeah! It's been a whole lot of fun. I have really enjoyed hosting you today and painting up some nice celestial spears with you. Tomorrow we'll see 2 more celestial spears, and after that, overmorrow, who knows what we'll have next. So, much of fun, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Nobody says it's fun content. Have fun and cheers, everyone. 8 o'clock tomorrow? I don't know. I have to. No. I'll start earlier. I'll probably start around like 6. I'm sorry. 6, 7 again. Hang on. Yeah, but you can still move. You can quickly move. Alright. What do I want to say? Alright, yeah, I'll probably start the stream again tomorrow at like 6, 7 o'clock PM CET, Central European Time. Who knows? Bummer, I'll try to catch you. Well, if we're again painting 2 Marines, we'll be here for quite some time. So, who knows? Yeah, it's been so much fun. The music is so great. Probably could do longer, but my girlfriend is right. I should save up my energy and get back to my duties as a full-time boyfriend. Alright. Again, amazing turnout, amazing guests with you guys. I wish you all a great night, a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye!